Welcome, everyone, to episode 12 of Live Stream Reviews. My name is Christian Karasiewicz. I'm the content marketing manager at StreamYard, and I want to welcome you to Live Stream Reviews, where our goal is to answer, not only just answer your questions, but also to help you improve and level up your live streams. And so what we do on the show is we like to take your questions, but we like to bring you on stage with us. So basically into the broadcast. And we can talk about your show. You can tell us who you are, what your broadcast is about, and then have a question for us that we'll answer. And that could be a technical question. It could be marketing related. For example, how do I get more people to join my live stream? It could be about promotion. It could be about, hey, I have a camera question for you. Like I'm looking to buy a camera, or I've got a smartphone. Like, can I use that as a camera, and so forth. So I'm going to go and bring on my co-host, Leticia Campbell. Sorry, by the way, for just the late start there. I had a technical glitch actually. So I'm using a Sony Alpha camera, and what's really interesting about this is this camera has basically it has a battery built in, but you have to plug it into. You can't just run it off the battery. I mean, you could, but it doesn't last for all these live streams. So like it works for a couple hours. What also happens though, when you try to use a DSLR camera, what will happen is you'll end up getting, sorry, I'm looking, there's a whole bunch of people jumping in the backstage area. I'm not sure if Leticia, if you shared that link or what happened there, but yeah. So what happens if you're using the standard battery is that it will overheat very easily. And so you get something what's called a dummy battery. Basically, it looks just like the regular battery, but it doesn't actually have the cells in it. So you plug it into the battery, and then it has a USB cable that goes to a USB adapter, or for example, you can use an external battery. Normally I run off an external battery, and my camera wasn't starting up this morning. So I had to switch my battery out real quick. But awesome. This is really good. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in. So do me a favor, by the way, while I bring Leticia on, tell us, where are you tuning in from? And then also tell us also how often you go live. We want to hear that in the comments. So fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to bring on Leticia. Leticia, good to have you. Sorry if I'm a little all over the place at the moment.
I like your haircut.
That was why I was late. No, it wasn't why I was late. I went and got a haircut
today.
So. But hey, you know what? That's a really good point, by the way, about showing up on camera and being ready. I know you and I talked about this on one of our shows that you and I do. We talked about we actually talked about makeup during live streaming, and it's the same thing though. It's about putting yourself together. So for example, I went and got a haircut. I was like, hey, I need to get a haircut. I want to make sure I look presentable on camera. So very, very, very easy things to do to help you look better on camera, and you look more professional. So Leticia, I know you have a lot of questions, or I know we had a topic we wanted to talk about with viewers this week. I'm going to let you kick things off, by the way. So feel free to take things.
While you work on the backstage. Yes.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Hello, everybody. I hope everyone has had an amazing week. I want to sort of pivot this conversation today to the common mistakes people make on their live streams. And we have 4 talking points to talk to you guys about today. And I'm going to keep looking at the chat because I always say this is like an old school thing we used to say back in the day where we used to do a lot of live events, which is note takers or money makers. So make sure y'all taking notes. I want to be looking. That's why I'm gonna be going back and forth looking at the chat to make sure y'all taking these notes, because we're going to be dropping some success nuggets today. So again, today's topic is the common mistakes that most of us make during live streams. And again, no live stream is ever going to be perfect. Let's just say that, and each and every time you want to improve on the live streams that you're currently doing. So the first point I want to make today is a lot of people are not investing time in their content. Content is king, y'all. We can't stress that enough. Write this down right now or type in the chat that content is king. Investing time means that you need to do your research, right? You need to go back and look at all the previous content that you have posted in the past. I would definitely say go back to at least the last 6 months, because the past 6 months is always still relevant information, and go back and check to see how can you improve on that, or what talking points should you be bringing back up today and what have you. So investing a lot of time in your content is important, and which is why I always say it's so important to ask your community. If you have a Facebook group or an email list, asking them what are some of the things they want you to talk about this particular subject matter. What are some of the difficulties that they're having in a particular subject matter? Ask your community. If you haven't started building the community, to start building it yesterday. The second mistake that I see most people make, Christian and I see this a lot, is people playing that imposter syndrome, trying to sound like everybody else, trying to have the same look as everyone else. And people sort of know that, right? And it's one thing I always say, it's harder for you to show up as somebody else than as yourself. When you're yourself, it shows through your content. It shows through your live stream aesthetic, your presentation, just being you. Okay, so if you're live, loud, and in color like me, be that. If you're the introvert that's trying to get out there and just share some great information, you just want to share, hey guys, I don't like to do this every day, but I have some important info to share, then do that. That is so important, right? So the third talking point that I want to say is most people make the mistake of avoiding syndication. Now I want y'all to write this down in the chat. Content syndication is more important than content creation. I'm going to say this again. Content syndication is more important than content creation. For those of us who have, this is just for those of y'all who have been streaming for a long time, going back and looking at your old content and seeing how you can cut it up, seeing how you can syndicate it is something that's going to be more you're going to have more leverage than any new content that you create. I'm going to give you an awesome example how you can syndicate your content by using StreamYard. So when you do a live, you have video content. So you can take that content, you can cut it up into 10-minute segments and upload it anywhere, right? Also with that same live, you can make it, you have the voice recording. So you could take that and you could put it up on a podcast, right? Then you have the text where you could put that. And I know, Christian, you may have some suggestions on that. You could take the voice and turn it into text and make it a blog. You get what I'm saying? So don't avoid syndications. There's 20 different ways of syndication, guys. I only shared 3 today because we can go as deep and as broad as we want, but that's something that's very important as well. And another thing, I'm gonna have Christian talk to you guys about this, which is do what others avoid. Like when you have a stream going on and you're going live and what have you, it's also what's important to do after the live happens, right, Christian?
Absolutely. No,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. There's so much that people don't do. So back to your point, for example, about turning your essentially repurposing your content.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're finished with your live, for example, one thing you can, as you mentioned, like you can turn that into a blog post. Mm-hmm. So for example, you can put the written content together and then your video can be embedded, your video from YouTube, for example. So for those of you who say like, hey, you know what, I'm not getting anybody to tune in, or I'm getting like very few live viewers. Don't worry about the live viewers all the time. Mm-hmm. Focus on the replay and make sure it's good content that you're publishing. And what I mean by that is publish evergreen content if you can. Mm-hmm. So for example, evergreen content, this is content that like, it's not going to be like, if you're, for example, okay, so you're going to make a tutorial. Okay. Let's say it's a tutorial. Let's say it's a tutorial about a topic that always changes. Okay. So like, I'll give you 2 examples here. So for example, if I want to make a tutorial that's about like a feature, for example, let's say it's a Facebook feature, for example, and I want to make a tutorial on that. That's going to be something that's it changes like that. Yeah. Like literally by the time your video is published, it may not actually be relevant. So, so that, for example, is it's going to have a very short shelf life.
Yeah. So you want to make sure, you want to make sure your content is relevant. Yeah, that's important. Yep.
Now on the flip side, though, let's flip that around and let's look at this and say, okay, well, what's another example? What would I create that's like sort of evergreen content? Let's say it's a cooking video.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, I want to teach somebody something as simple as I want to teach how to boil water.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's something that doesn't matter if you create it now or you created it 10 years ago or you create it 10 years later. People are still going to be looking up how to boil water, for example.
That's right. They are.
So you kind of have to look at like what's going to be give you the most bang for your buck. So going back to what Leticia said about, creating content, you need to spend time thinking about your content.
Yep.
Don't think too long on it, but then act on it.
That's right. And it goes back to thinking of, people always ask that question of, I want to go viral, right? I want my stuff to go viral. Viral has nothing to do with numbers. It's everything to do with content. You got to create content that's always going to go viral, that you could cut pieces of and publish it, 6-7 months down the line. And it's still relevant information that people want to hear today. So you're not just streaming for today, you're streaming for tomorrow, which is what awesome about StreamYard. And that is one of the only platforms that allows us to take our content and leverage it in different forms. Yeah. You have the video form, you have the voice form, and then from there you can use other third-party apps or programs to cut up, edit, transcribe, put into reels, all kinds of stuff. I mean, you could take one broadcast and cut it up to over 20 plus pieces of content, and I'm really speaking to those of us who have been streaming for a long time. And even if you haven't, even if you just got started with StreamYard today, what you should be doing right now is every time you go live, download that live, upload it onto a Google Drive or somewhere where you can save it. Download the voice recording of that live. Upload it somewhere, because you never know when you're going to be using it later on. Because I work with private clients all the time, and one of the things that I wish they have done early on, instead of us trying to recreate content for them, just taking something that they've published or uploaded for the past 6 months. If we take 6 months, if you took 6 months worth of the stuff you've already streamed, you have content for the rest of this year. You don't have to. Yeah, go ahead.
That's an excellent point, actually, because what a lot of people do is they do their content and they move on to the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
They don't you don't give it time to take hold.
That's right.
So, and here's the thing, it goes back to imposter syndrome. A lot of people think, oh, well, I've got to match someone else's pace. So, let's talk about running. So somebody that wants to go, they say, hey, you know what? I'm going to go run a mile.
Mm-hmm.
And, remember, how many of you remember oh, hey, you ran an 8-minute mile, or that was kind of the goal they wanted you to run or something like that, right?
Yeah, I remember that in high school.
if you're not, here's the thing, if you're not a runner, for example, and you try to run an 8-minute mile, you may do it, but you're going to be huffing and puffing if you're not used to running.
That's right.
You're not, if you're not in shape, you're not used to running, all that sort of thing. So what do? You work up to improve your mile time, for example.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the same thing holds true for your live stream. So,
that's right.
For example, in content publishing. So if you see somebody is churning out a whole bunch of content every single day, chances are what they're doing. Chances are they have a team that does all of this for them.
That's right.
So they have a team, and then on your side, you're trying to do everything yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where you need to consider, maybe you hire somebody to help you.
That's right.
A kid at home, a teenager, for example, and you want to, give them something productive to do.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, this helps them go into a new career, for example, or you find somebody that can help with that. Versus trying to match the pace of somebody else.
Exactly.
If you've never really done it before.
Yeah. And the really only difference between us and the top influencers is they know how to syndicate their content. That's really the only difference. They take bits and pieces of their shows or bits and pieces of their, I have tons of branding films, and I just started to cut those down, and I just uploaded another one the other day. But Christian, I think if people start to really figure out a way, which is real simple, how to commercialize themselves by saying, you know what, I have a live show I do once a week. How can I take that 1-hour show and create content just off of that 1-hour show throughout the whole week? Wouldn't that make their job so much easier, Christian? Instead of sitting here every single day thinking of when am I going to post today? When am I going to post today? No, you're already already created content just off of that one live streaming that should be at the top of your game plan, everyone. If it's not, you need to make it that way. You need to get out of that fear of going live and just, I know this, we talked, Trish and I had, I think it was like episode 3, we talked to you guys on how to prepare for your lives. But now that you got that going and you have something awesome to share, it's time for you to say, it's not even about editing though. Adam said something about editing. It's not even about editing though. Here's the tea on that. You could just like download the StreamYard Live that you did and cut it up into 10-minute increments. No one's asking you to edit. See that's I think that was number 2, the second point we was getting in today, which is that imposter syndrome. You're seeing everybody else out there with some awesome, nice edited videos and what have you. But why do people watch those videos? Because of what the person is saying. So simplify the process and commercialize what you're doing. So you can stop avoiding that syndication. And I had to look myself in the mirror and have that real talk with myself too, and say, all of us, Christian and I do it too, saying, how can we take this and level up the content so we're working smarter, not harder.
Right. Yeah. And I want to say this. I mean, I want to highlight Adam's comment here. Got 2 things here. So for starters, he says he's a team of 1 and he's probably going to hire somebody on, for example, Fiverr to do some graphics for him. And here's the thing, there's various parts to a live stream. So for example, there's the content idea. So the content for the most part needs to come from you. Then there's the graphic side. There's the scheduling, obviously, and then there's the producer side as well. So, you've got 3 or 4 roles there. And so, for example, let's talk about working smarter, not harder here. So, for example, if graphics are not so the content needs to come from you. The scheduling shouldn't really take a whole lot of time. You go into the dashboard, if I'm scheduling to the YouTube, I can schedule things ahead of time. If I'm scheduling things to Facebook, I can only schedule them 7 days in advance. That's a Facebook limitation. So what, for example, to work smarter on this kind of thing, for example, what I do is I have a spreadsheet that I keep. It has every single episode of my show. It's got the date, the time, the title, the guest, the person's social media handle. This is all information though. Here's what I do. I don't say, oh, well, hey, somebody email me this information. When I have them book a time, I have them use a calendar program, like a Calendly or a Harmonizely or things like that. All those questions are right there. The person writes all that in, and then I don't have to go back to them and be like, oh, and I also, if I need an image for them, I also include that. I say hey, please send me an image. So for example, if Leticia were to go book a time, she gets all of that information right there when she's booking. So I then don't have to be like, well, hey, Leticia, thanks for booking. Now I also need you to do this other stuff. So I'm getting the information, I'm planning it, and I'm getting it up front from my guest. Now, as far as graphics go, graphics, for example, if you're not a graphic designer, you can go use tools like Canva and Easel. They have a lot of really great templates and overlays and things like that built in. But to Adam's point, you can go over to Fiverr, for example, and hire somebody to do the work for you. It may seem expensive, oh, I spent $100 on having this, set of overlays made. Yeah. But here's the thing, you saved yourself a lot of time doing that.
Exactly. You have
not a graphic designer.
Exactly. And to get into that, piggyback off what you were saying, Christian, when people say, well, I'll go to Fiverr, I go here, I go there. Now I have hired and fired tons of graphic designers.
Yeah.
Okay. For various different reasons. That's a whole nother conversation. But my biggest thing is, if you're just getting started, first figure out your design. So it's best for you to go on Canva and do a design yourself. So when you do hire someone, they're going off of what's up here. They're going off of your look, your colors, your branding, your style, things like that. So it's nothing wrong with doing it yourself on that aspect at first. And, that could take a week or 2 or maybe a month. And then you say, you know what, this is the look I like. Here's an example. Here's the inspiration. I need you to pivot from there. Or else these graphic designers, even on Fiverr, will just throw their thought process out on you. And you're like, okay, you're stuck with that $30 or $10 design. So Canva is man, listen. You want to get into some of these questions down here, Christian?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we have Nicole. I'm starting from the bottom up.
That's
How
fine.
important are the bells and whistles, intros, overlays, etc.? Where to focus between content and bling as a starter? Um
I would
oof,
I would say right now I would rule out the bling. It's not about the
mm,
bling.
it's
So it's
not.
not about having the intro video, the outro video at the start.
Mm-hmm.
Have a set of graphic. Like for example, when I started with one graphic. I put an intro graphic up, and then so I put that up, and I use that as my thumbnail. I
Mm-hmm.
use it before I hit that go live button. I have my thumbnail already up on screen.
Mm-hmm.
I hit go live, so that way it's
Mm-hmm.
got a nice I want to say bookend. It's got a nice bookend at the beginning. Now,
Exactly.
what I did though was this. Over time, I said, I told myself, I said, hey, I don't like the way that my show ends
Mm-hmm.
because it shows me like trying to find the button and I'm still on camera. So what I did was I then worked on my delivery, basically my outro.
Yes.
And I got
Yes.
to the point where I have a certain outro that I use. And I say
Mm-hmm.
like, hey, thanks a lot for watching, that sort of thing. At that point, I put my outro screen up. At that point, I've added an outro screen. And
Mm-hmm.
now I can hit end the broadcast
That's right.
and it's a cleaner transition.
Mm-hmm.
So like
Mm-hmm.
that's probably where I'd start. I
Mm-hmm.
start with an intro and an outro overlay. For
Okay.
example, I just have a background right now. We just have a background for this show. So what we've done is we built three things. We built an intro graphic
Mm-hmm.
and a background, and we built an outro
Mm-hmm.
graphics, static graphics.
Yeah.
And then what we did was we incorporated, maybe a few weeks down the road, we incorporated a countdown timer.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next thing we may incorporate, for example, is an end screen for an outro video.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say, as far as like bells and whistles, like you don't need it. I mean,
Yeah, start where you're at right now and work up from there. I'm coming from this perspective of starting out live streaming where we didn't have overlays, we didn't have intros, we didn't have none of that stuff. Going into it, I looked at it as I'm not paying for any of this stuff until I see a profit coming in. So here's why I say this. A lot of times, especially those of y'all who are in the business space, y'all paying hundreds of dollars for all this stuff, but haven't even figured out what your offer is and made an investment from that. So anything like we have a new show that we started about a couple of weeks ago. I have it with a different person, and we're like, listen, as soon as we get this much money, then we're going to get this. As soon as we get that much money, but we're going to keep streaming. See, sometimes, and Christian, I know you could attest to this. People will not show up or go live until they have the overlays, until they have the intros. No, what are you doing? Because I'm gonna be totally honest with you. When my audience get done watching me on a stream, they don't remember what intro I have. They remember, oh my God, Leticia, when you said that last week in your live you did Tuesday at 3:00, or you said I need, bam. They only care about the content. So if you want to really invest and double down on anything, double down on the content because that's what people remember.
Yep, absolutely.
Period.
And and here's the other thing. We have to remember this. It's very easy to spend money.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, it's easy to go out and charge that credit card, for example, buy that expensive camera or buy that really expensive microphone, or like spend hundreds of dollars on having an intro video done or an outro video done for a concept you don't even know will work. Here's the other thing.
Say that again, Christian.
For a concept you don't even know will work. And this is why, like, so the things you need to do, you need to be testing things. So for example, if people we have people ask, like we had an episode of a new show we launched this week called Ask StreamYard, and somebody was asking like the best time to go live to reach the maximum audience. Like, so for example, that tells us like, well, hey, they're having some challenges getting viewers, but here's the thing. It wasn't about like, what's the best camera, for example, what's the best mic, all that kind of stuff. Like it was about making sure that you get your show out there at the right time, or at least what is the right time, which technically it's what's best for you, because you're never going to reach and please everyone. So overlays and graphics, I mean, they're great to have. If it were me, I'd start with, I'd go on Canva, for example, or Easel. I think there's even a Easel, like, let me see if we have a, let me find this actually. There's a Easel live stream overlay, like article, for example. They have a whole bunch of free overlays, and these are from Easel. They're like, I think there's some backgrounds as well in there, but those are free. Why not start with those? Why would I throw away the money or put the money in there when I don't even know if it's going to work.
Yeah,
So
and Adam's right. All this stuff adds up quickly.
Yeah. Like for example, you guys always ask me like mic and like mixer and things like that. I started off with a Blue Yeti. It was a $100 mic. If I had to do it differently, I'd start off with like a Samsung Q2U, which is $70 because I had my Blue Yeti. I then realized I wanted to upgrade because I couldn't. It was heavy. It was nice on my desk, but I couldn't move it when I wanted to be in a different setting. So the great thing about that $70 mic was that I could use it on USB or it was portable and I could use it on a mixer. And the thing with that Blue Yeti was it became a paperweight. So I wasted $150 on a microphone and then it just literally sat on a shelf. So if I had been smarter about it, I would have made the $70 investment. That gave me $80 worth of, $80 that I could have invested in a mixer or in having the intro and the outro static graphics made. Instead, I put myself behind because I spent money on equipment. So
and then you still don't know, like you just said 2 seconds ago, you still don't know if the concept that you originally are thinking about is going to be something that you're going to end up with. Is actually going to work. That's the thing. So the attention needs to be on the content also as the foundation. So I see Lady Terrell.
So here, let me do this. Let me actually. There's a couple questions I want to pull up.
Sure. Pull it right up.
And sorry by the way, if you guys don't like us going off on these tangents, sometimes let us know, please.
This is great.
We want to make sure that people are like that. That we're helping you. So let me see. So let me find these. And by the way, lots of people tune in from all over the place. We got North Carolina. We got Tanya from North Carolina.
Hey, Tanya.
We got Terry from New Jersey. Does a comedy improv show. Fantastic.
Awesome. Oh, that's fun.
Florida in the house. DJ Rodriguez. We've got Arab immigrants. I think you've been on as well before, actually. And you're in, I think Canada, maybe you're using a Blue Yeti with a Logitech Brio. Fantastic.
Cool.
So let me, we got Sherry Levon from Virginia here. Fantastic.
Hey,
fantastic. Sherry. Okay. And look at that. We're hitting the Midwest, Ohio. Great. Okay. So, and Scott, by the way, you're totally welcome. Glad we were able to help you actually. So
that's great feedback.
Let's see. So I'm going to start scrolling through some of these. So, do me a favor. If you want to drop the link to the backstage area, let's go and start bringing some people on.
You got it.
Lady Tarell, by the way, if you want to come on, do us a favor, turn on your webcam and then just let us know in the private chat what your question is so that we can get an idea beforehand. Oh, cool. We even got Taiwan tuning in. Fantastic.
Ooh,
wow.
Nice.
This is awesome.
I've been there before.
So, and I want to make sure we highlight Nicole's question here. Lesson number 1, content is king. Do that research and harvest from your previous stuff. Yes. So I think that was your takeaway from yours.
That's cool.
And by the way, we also have NLTMW here talking about for April, plans to go live every day because of, we're doing a StreamYard Veda challenge. So check out, let's see, I think it's facebook.com. Yeah, facebook.com/groups.
That's going to be fun.
Let me actually get a link to the Veda article. Actually, I figured it'd be easier than just telling you to like go try to find it.
Yeah. Yep.
So this is Veda on the StreamYard Facebook. And so here's the thing. I want to talk about this real quick. So Veda is like Video Everyday April, for example. It's it's something that's been started. Like a lot of people do this. And so the key thing with something like that is that's going to help you build your consistency.
Yes.
So like for those of you who are afraid of being, going live, for example, we've got I think you can win some really good stuff on that. But it's about getting you to be consistent going live, learning, for example, like if you look at what your current schedule is like during a given day, you're probably, if we said, well, hey, how often do you go live every day? If you don't have your show on your calendar scheduled, you're probably not going to go live.
That's right. If you don't have time blocked. Yep.
So time block. And then the other thing is if you get into doing it, then I think you'll stick with it. Yeah. So give yourself that push, just do it and go live. And then what you can do is you can reformulate things. You can improve things as you're going along. So you got to work up to it. Okay. So, and
it doesn't have to be 1 hour. It could be a 10-minute live. It could be 15 minutes. It's just getting to that level of consistency, which I think this Veda challenge is amazing, especially during this time of the year.
So Lady Tarell, if you want to join us, and I think you have a question, actually, I see your question in here. Something about a phone. Let us please come on screen. Oh, you just dropped. Okay. So, well, I'll answer your question. So even on a phone, can you do that? Not tech knowledgeable. Yes. So you can use StreamYard from your smartphone or your tablet. There's no app to download. You simply just go to StreamYard.com on the mobile browser and log in. So I think you're gonna, let me see. I think you get pushed over. I think you do Safari on the phone, maybe. Let me just double check. So yeah, just go to your mobile browser, StreamYard.com. No need for an app, and you'll be able to go right into that and start your broadcast. Now, remember though, there are features that are not going to work on mobile. Things like, and you have to, I mean, some of these are logical. Green screen, for example, screen sharing, adding in photos and videos off of like iCloud Drive, for example, that kind of stuff. So that stuff's not going to work on mobile. And you can't use an external mic either. You basically would want to just plug in headphones, get that mic as close to your mouth as possible. And then that would allow you to use StreamYard on mobile. So, and I've used it before. It works fantastic. You can turn off your camera. You can use the audio avatar mode. So
yeah, that's pretty cool.
Okay. So let's see. So we got a bunch of people here. Let me do one more question. And then actually, let's make sure we clarify this one. So DJ Rodriguez, so avoid syndication. So Leticia, can you clarify that, please?
Yeah, that was tip number 3. Stop avoiding syndication. Syndication is basically you're taking one piece of content and you are using it in different forms. You're cutting up the video and maybe making it to 10-minute short videos to upload on other different platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, places like that. Or you're downloading the voice recording of your live and upload it onto your podcast. Yeah, that's what syndication means. It means you're taking one piece of content, and see, people get simulcasting and syndication, and they get those two confused. Simulcasting is you do that with StreamYard by just literally hitting go live, and you're live everywhere, right? And then syndication is taking that live and saying, okay, how I'm going to take this live and now create different pieces of content that I could upload, publish throughout the week, whether it be on a blog or as a IGTV video or what have you. So that's what syndication is. And a lot of people avoid that because either they think it's hard, which is not, or, there's various different reasons why some people don't do that, but you need to stop avoiding that. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. So I got one last question real quick, and I just dropped the, so Mikkel, we're going to bring you on here in a second. Okay. Do us a favor, just put in the private chat if you have a question. Let us know what that question is. And I'm going to bring up one question real quick. So Moana McAdams asks, what platforms, tools would you recommend for cutting up video content easily? One of the tools, actually, Moana, that I would recommend checking out is called lately.ai.
Lately?
Yeah, fantastic tool. Leticia, I'll send you all these. Don't worry about that. I love it how we do the show. And Leticia's always got her notes ready to take notes.
I always have a blank sheet of paper. Yeah.
So lately.ai, what this does is you basically can put for example, I took my live streams, I could put them in there and it will actually go through and it will automatically cut up the video into pieces for me. So for example, think of it like this. This isn't just for live streaming. This is for everything you do. So if you're like, hey, you know what? I made a pre-recorded video, run it through lately.com, for example, because guess what? It's going to give you social media content. So you're not going to have to struggle to come up with stuff. It's going to take your existing stuff and chop. And now you get a lot of pieces to use.
Yep.
So yeah. And then you can put your live streams in there and whatnot. So definitely check that tool out. Okay. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and bring on Mikkel while I'm going through these questions here. And by the way, for people that have dropped YouTube links and things like that, what I want you to do is actually, if you can, come on screen with us.
Yes.
So I dropped the link, come on screen, and what we'll do is I'll then pull up your stuff and we'll just give it a quick look and have you kind of tell us what your show's about. Okay, Mikkel, are you ready? Okay, cool. So go ahead, Leticia. Go ahead and bring on Mikkel.
Let's bring on Mikkel.
How you doing, Mikkel?
Hey, it's pronounced Mikhail. How you doing?
Mikhail. Sorry about that.
You're fine, man. I'm used to it all my life.
So by the way, just a quick tip on your mobile device, you can rotate it if you want to, and you can fill the screen if you want to.
Let's get your full view.
Oh, and make sure you don't have rotation lock on, actually.
Yeah, he probably has rotation.
Okay, so I just got a new phone.
Okay.
So I'm still trying to work it out a little bit.
Okay.
So
there you go.
There it is, I think.
Oh, now he's sideways.
Now, let me go back to what I was doing.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you on iPhone or Android or iOS or Android?
It's an Android.
Okay, so Android, swipe down from the top and there should be a drawer that comes up. And it should show you, I think there's a rotation lock button up there.
There it goes.
And then you can rotate it.
Now
do it. Fill. Let's see if that works.
See if this works. Hold on.
That's weird.
Okay, am I still sideways?
Yeah, you gotta hit you gotta hit audio rotate and it should be highlighted.
Yeah, I did. Like I said.
I think he hit end actually.
Yeah.
We're gonna bring you back in. Sorry, by the way.
Oh, come back in, Mikkel.
So we're gonna bring him. So while we're waiting for him to come on, let me just take a couple questions here. So Jude and Esposita asked, how do you save it? Only stream to Facebook and save it to our group, but I'd love to remove older streams. So one thing to remember on StreamYard is that you can download your streams. They're there for 15 days.
Yes.
So like once it's after 15 days, there's nothing that we can do about that. I'm not sure if that's a server thing or what that is. So let me do this. I'm going to actually open my broadcast. Let me go back to a test broadcast actually here. So I'll show you how this works. Okay. So, and Mikkel, like I'm going to bring you in 1 second. I promise.
Yeah. Just turn your camera on. And the problem, I used to download my streams right off of Facebook.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the quality is not as good as you're doing it right from StreamYard. So just keep that in mind. If you want good quality video, do it directly from the app.
So for example, okay, so let's say this is so I go up into my StreamYard dashboard under broadcast. I go to past broadcasts and I'm going to enter the broadcast studio. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to enter this. Hello. I'm going to go up here to this links option and there's an option that says download recording. And when I click that, it's going to now give me the ability to download a video recording and audio recording. For those of you, here's another thing. If you're on the pro plan of StreamYard, we also have this new individual audio recordings feature. So you can repurpose this as a podcast, by the way. And then you just hit download and it'll download with anything you've brought in. So for example, and to enable this, by the way, you just go into settings and then you go here to this record a separate audio file for each guest. You just check that box once and that's all you have to do. So that's how you go about doing that. So, okay, so let's bring him back in. I guess hey, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Not bad, not bad. I don't have your camera now, but so what, tell us about your show. What's your, here we go.
Okay, so my show is supporting Black-owned businesses in North Alabama. I'm in Huntsville, Alabama. And I support North Alabama, basically Birmingham, into Tennessee, into Atlanta. I call it the Golden Triangle. And what I do is I use Facebook Live, but I've been having issues because when I do use StreamYard, I did have a DJ and I've been being stopped, flagged. We started doing like 80s and 90s mix, but as soon as we crossed over 2000, I get flagged and I get a notification in the middle of filming saying, we're shutting down your show.
Okay. Yep.
And I've had to shut the show down, basically redo it on the last 3 occasions. Like the first time it happened, I didn't even know what happened. I did notice I wasn't getting any questions from people.
Yeah.
And then after my laptop I was on my laptop and my cell phone. I went to my cell phone after the show. I had like 7 mixed phone calls and text people like, hey, what's going on? We can't see you, blah, blah, blah. So what I'm trying to figure out is those shows I recorded, like the last show, the very first show that got flagged and stopped.
Yep.
How can I download that show? I downloaded it in my computer. When I went to upload it into my YouTube channel, it said it was too long. So I need to. Only thing I can think of is taking off the first 20 minutes, which is the DJ. Because the DJ was to warm up the crowd, basically from 5:50 to about 6:10, and then I do the talk with the host. This Thursday, I have Melody Hope from OWN Network, from the Love and Marriage series, which was the #1 ranked show. She's on my show this Thursday. She's actually a friend of mine. But I love the StreamYard. Sorry about that. I love the StreamYard platform. It's just that I'm having problems either downloading it if I can use it for another time, or getting flagged.
Okay, so Leticia, do you want to take this one first?
Do you own the rights to the music that you're uploading? Because I know a lot of times when you're playing music that if you don't own the rights to it, especially Facebook doesn't like that.
Yeah. So what I have is no, I don't, because and this was the issue or the question.
Yeah.
Like I have a lot of friends who are DJs.
Yep.
And they'll DJ live, no problem. During the whole time, there's no issue whatsoever. But when I do it during the Facebook Live show, and they'll do Facebook Live shows for themselves. That's why I thought it would work, but it didn't work. So I'm trying to figure a way out. I mean, I have a lot of DJ friends. They'll go live just for no reason. I mean, they're marketing themselves.
Yeah.
But when I use StreamYard and he'll use Stream, I bring him in on StreamYard, he starts DJing live. If the wrong song goes across, it gets flagged. So the only thing I think I could do is I hire somebody to have my own theme music.
Yeah. So I would say this, you have to just be very careful about using anything that is copyrighted. So like from a music standpoint, for example, some people will take they'll take something that they got music, for example, from YouTube, even if it's free music from YouTube, and they'll put it on Facebook, for example, and Facebook will flag them, but YouTube may not. Part of that's, it comes down to licensing. Yeah. And so it's hard for me to say, well, why did one person get it to work and one person did not? Yeah. It just could be an algorithm change. It's like something that Facebook happened to pick up on, or YouTube happened to pick up on. There's no rhyme. There's no reason. But the bottom line is, if it's not something that you don't have the rights to, I wouldn't use it. I wouldn't even chance it, because you're talking like legally, like, and I'm not looking to scare you, but like you're talking potentially thousands of dollars per violation. Like, so for example, it's not just about shutting your streams down. They would shut your streams down, but then the people who own the music could say, well, hey, you've been doing this for a long time, and they could come back and say, well, you know what, that's X a number of instances. Exactly. So I would have, if it were me, I'd have somebody create music for you, not even a cover of something else. That's the other thing. So it can't even be a cover, because they do pick up on covers as well. Yes, they do. Yeah. I mean, my brother does DJing. One of the things, he only primarily plays reggae. So you know how that works. So he has the artists do their own personal mix for him with his Killer One sound. And I'll connect you to him if you reach out to me on Facebook. I don't know exactly how he got that going on, but that's what he does. And that automatically, he's never been flagged. I even played it on my channel with his permission, obviously, and my video didn't get flagged. So I know a lot of them are doing that, just getting again, I don't know how it gets done, because I don't do DJing, he does, but I know that's how he had a workaround. Yeah. And it even applies to, like, I've got Pastor Nelson here as well backstage with us, and like it even applies to, like, if you're doing a church service, if you're live streaming a church service, you can't just live stream, for example, they don't care if you're a church, for example. They don't care if you're a nonprofit, any of that kind of thing as well. Like, people still want to get paid for the work they did. So even if you're, for example, playing like, music out of a hymnal, for example, could be the same exact thing, even though it seems like, oh, well, why would I get flagged for this? Like, so I would say this, and I'm not always, we have an article on the StreamYard blog, by the way. So I'll put a link here in the chat. They're questions that people have had about, like we've come up with some music sources. that you can use to, let me actually see if I can find this. There's some music sources that you can go and you can use their paid music sources. So there are free options, there's paid ones, but I would just say be very careful about that, you know, and I'm going to see if we can, like, one thing I want to try to do is figure out if there's a way for us to have somebody, like, for example, maybe it's a corporate attorney or somebody like that.
Yeah,
that'd be help cool. Us like better identify some of this stuff because, like, for example, I know there's a service called Lickd, Lickd, that you can go to, and they have like they specifically had music for copyrights or royalty-free music. So like they got royalty-free music. Do what?
Yeah, about your channel too. He mentioned that you said when you upload the video on your YouTube, it's saying it's too long. Have you verified your YouTube channel? Because once you do that, then you can upload longer video.
Okay, when you say I'm new to the YouTube channel game, because so you said verify. Is that something I need to ask offside, or it might take too much time?
No, it takes a couple of seconds, verify? Right, Christian?
Okay.
So as far as verification, you can so like the way usually verification works is they like it's just within your account. So they want you to create the account and then they'll want you to verify it. It'll be part of the process. It should actually there should actually be like a banner at the top. But if you go into your YouTube studio, so if you go to YouTube and then click on your icon at the top right, there's going to be a studio option. Look in there, like under, I think it's going to be under settings, maybe.
Yeah. I did it one time, so I don't remember exactly. It's like you just do it once and then you forget how to use it, how to do it.
Let me see if I can get the information. Let's see. So so it's longer than 15. So they do have a thing where it's like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the first thing. So let me drop a couple of things here. So if you're looking for music on your live streams, we have a resource with free and paid options. That's in the chat there. In your case, Mikhail, like, so there's let me see. They want you to go to YouTube. It's actually very easy. Go to youtube.com/verify. And then there's apparently some steps that you'll want to do there. And they'll let you have a maximum size of 128 gigs or 12 hours.
Okay.
So, here, this is on YouTube verification. And by the way, just a quick note about any sort of, like, if you're ever like, hey, I want to, like, when you go to the web and you're like, hey, you know what, I want to figure out YouTube verification, just go off the YouTube resources or the Google resources, because they're going to have the right links that you need to go to, versus going off like maybe that first article that always shows up. So just keep that in mind.
Okay.
Does that help?
Helps a lot, guys. Thank you. I appreciate y'all very much.
Anytime.
I really do. I love StreamYard. It's been great until the music situation started.
I can imagine.
Yeah. But the music thing.
And there's something else. They've chopped up some of my video too. I don't know how that's happened.
Ooh.
Huh. What do you mean?
Yeah, like I'll be recording. Okay. You know, then it gets flagged. So I have to stop. I say, hey guys, give me 2 minutes. I tell them what's happening.
Yeah.
Because I'll be like, this is a live show. I don't have an editing crew. It's not a production team. It's just me. I had a production guy, but I had to go back to school. And I'll come back, and I'll do the part 2 and I'll record it, watching it. And then I'll go back and watch it. And like the middle part of the show will be in the front part. And the front will be in the back. They'll mix it up. And that's only happened when I've been flagged.
So it could be this. That sounds like some. I have a feeling. So, I think that I'm speculating here. I think that happens because partly when the video gets flagged, there's probably some process they kick off, and so let's just say it's YouTube, for example, or Facebook. It doesn't matter. They probably look at it and say, okay, your content was flagged. We don't want this to be playing. So they may automatically scramble it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I can see them doing that.
That could easily be something that happens, because then if they still allow it, they sort of still allow you to kind of do that. Does that make sense? So
I figured they did it.
Yeah.
I think that I was like, you know what? They're going to jack this up or I can't use it.
Yep.
And it happened to have been like my 3 best shows that I've done. And unfortunately, we found that after the fact. But what I'm gonna do is try to go back and upload. And I would love to reach out to you, Leticia, and just get some more insight on a couple things. before I get my YouTube up and running. And like I said, I want to edit on
Sure.
StreamYard if possible. And you said it was LICKD?
Yeah, but do me a favor. Just check out the article that I put in the comments.
Okay.
Licked is in there, but there's quite a few other ones that we recommend. Like there's a whole bunch of services. Like for example, I use like an Epidemic Sounds one. There's all sorts of ones there, and they all have a little bit of different music. So I'd recommend checking that out.
All right. Thank you very much, guys, for your time. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Anytime.
Awesome. Bye.
All right.
Thank you for hopping on.
So, just a couple of quick notes, by the way, and I know we got a lot of people waiting backstage. This is awesome, actually. So, if you have a question for us, I should have mentioned this. Use hashtag ask in your comment. If you have a feature request, you can use hashtag feature. This way, like, and I'm literally taking notes right now as people are putting features in and things like that. And then in addition to that, the other thing I want to actually just mention to you all as well is we have an upcoming live stream success summit, April 15th, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that's 12 o'clock in the afternoon if you're on the East Coast. Would love to have you guys attend that. If you want to learn more about StreamYard, we've got some really great guests and speakers lined up. It's StreamYard.com/SY Summit. I just want to give you guys a quick heads up on who some of those speakers are. We've got Seth Godin. So if you've ever heard of Seth Godin, you probably have seen his books, Big Marketer. They use StreamYard actually. And so he's actually going to be keynoting our first Success Summit. So I know we've got quite a few people already signed up to join this. So we've got that. We've also got some really advanced panelists on there as well. So definitely go and check that out. Okay, so let's take a couple questions here, Leticia, and then we're going to bring on Pastor Nelson here.
Yep.
Let me see. So let me see. I'm just going through real quick. John, we'll work on getting your stuff. Like John, if you want to, John Tenuto, if you were able to not able to join, just send an email to marketing@streamyard.com. Just reference this live stream reviews and say, hey, Christian, can you take a look at this? And I'll do my best to look at that. Paul Ash asks, how do you prepare to repackage your live? Doesn't it get less interaction if you don't have intro extra direct people to the full content? Part of it's including the banners. Like it's sort of structuring your show. So having points, for example, like that you drop in. So you don't necessarily need the overlay all the time.
No.
But like I said, you don't have to put a big investment in it. Like you don't have to go, all out and do a really nice intro video and outro video. Like you could start with the static graphic, put those up. Maybe you have, you could have the intro static graphic, a background. Maybe you have something to promote. Maybe you make one graphic and then you have, the fourth one would be like the outro graphic. So start with that. And then you can build up as you get further down in your show and you see that it's successful.
Yeah.
And then one other question from Chris here. How do you narrow down a niche if you know so much?
Yeah.
You want to answer that one, Leticia?
Yeah, that's a great question. What is it out of all the things what do you most enjoy talking about? That's what I had to do because I'm just like you, Chris. I know a lot, and we know more than what we actually know. So people pay for what you know, not what you do. So you have to ask yourself, what do you, out of all the things put them all on the index card. That's what I did. And then I said, you know what, at the top rank, this is the top thing I love to talk about, email marketing. That's the top. Then this is the second one. This is the third, this is fourth, and just do that. And that's how you start to niche down, put a pen to paper, bring it right back to basics. Yeah.
Fantastic. Okay. So let's do this.
Because you want people, when they say your name, you want them to say, oh, Christian is known for this. If they have to remember more than one thing, they're going to forget about what exactly you do.
Yeah.
That's what we miss that part there is what people, marketing is what we say about ourselves, about our business. PR is what people are saying about us.
Yeah.
So the PR part, we have to understand that is the key to really get your business viral and get it out there, or even whatever it is that you're doing.
And another thing real quick on that, is, you also need to like, don't be afraid to talk about your business to other people. Don't think it's like, oh, it's the secret. Like, I don't want people to know about it. If you don't want people to know about it, don't tell them. But here's the thing: if you want to get people to come to your, live streams or show or things like that, like, first off, you need to be confident telling people that. So, for example, if you do a live stream, if you're like having a conversation with somebody and they're like, hey, what have you been up to? Oh, well, hey, I do this live stream, for example. Like, don't be afraid to tell them and have a quick little, it's not an elevator pitch. Just, hey, Leticia, I do this weekly show. It's called X, Y, and Z. I do it on Thursdays for 45 minutes. We talk about, whatever the topic is. If you want to join, here you go. No big deal. So, don't be afraid to talk about it. Otherwise, if you don't talk it up and you just do it, people aren't necessarily going to know about it. So it's not a big secret.
Know about it.
Awesome. Okay. So let's do this. Let's go and bring up Pastor Nelson here. Leticia.
Yep.
Hey, how we doing?
How y'all doing? Can y'all hear me?
I can't.
Yeah, you have us.
Let's see. Hold up. Hold up. 2, testing, 1, 2. You can't hear me?
Testing. Yeah, but I can hear you and I can hear myself. Do you have headphones plugged in?
No, I do have a mic though.
So what's happening is you're speaking in the mic, your speakers are coming out and then going back into the mic.
So how do I adjust that going in here?
Do you have headphones?
No, but can I turn the echo off?
How about now?
Did that help?
That did, yes.
Okay, I just did the echo cancellation on my end.
Perfect.
Cool.
Awesome. So that's one thing to note, by the way, for those of you using StreamYard and you get an echo like this, the reason this was happening for Pastor Nelson here is that, so he doesn't have headphones plugged in. We always recommend wear headphones. However, in his case, he doesn't have them. So he's got his mic. What was happening was he had his computer speakers playing the sound so he could hear things. And then the mic, it was basically coming out of the computer and then everything was feeding back into the microphone. So he turned on the echo cancellation, which is located under settings within your broadcast. So settings and audio. So, do us a favor. Tell us a little bit, tell us who you are, what questions you have and what questions you have.
Well, first of all, I am Pastor Nelson Luke White. I am the senior pastor of the House of Hope Praise Ministries located in the great city of Clinton, Maryland. Our website is hopelive.net. Shameless plug, but since you said don't be ashamed to put yourself out there, I just did.
Amen.
And I am, listen, when we first started streaming, all I had was a phone. I didn't have a tripod, anything. And my church needed us to be live because of the pandemic. So we was just going live and then I added along the way. And so now I'm using a camera. I have a mic. And so StreamYard has been a life saver. So kudos to you guys and your team and your staff. Thank you so very much for a much needed platform because I don't know where we would be without streaming.
Very welcome, actually. By the way, and do me a favor. When we're finished here, can you just send me a PM, like a private message? Like, cause I want to I love hearing this. Like I have more questions and stuff for you. So, so what questions can we answer for you, by the way, today?
So I have a ton. So I'm going to try to get them out as quickly as I can. Sure. The first thing is I love the simulcasting so we can go Facebook, YouTube and all of that. I'm hoping Instagram is coming so that you all can answer that. But how do we get our YouTube audience to grow? Or is it just a matter of all of our audience is on Facebook?
Very good question, actually. Okay, so let's see. So the easiest way is going to be, so if you want to get well, first off, you need to know where your audience is at. So for example, if they're on Facebook, what I would recommend doing as a test, I would schedule my broadcast and then for your destination, set your Facebook account that you want to broadcast to, your page, your group, etc. And then set up a YouTube channel as well. If you don't have one, if you already have one, set it up on going out to your YouTube channel. That's like step numero uno. Okay.
Yeah, we do that. Yeah. So the Facebook page is blowing up and YouTube is running at the same time when no one's on it.
So the next thing though you need to do is on YouTube, and by the way, just send me a private message and I'll send you some other stuff as well. But so on YouTube, what you're going to want to do for every single video, doesn't matter if it's a pre-recorded video or a live video, you're going to want to go in and you want to optimize the title and the description and add some tags. That's going to be so what most people do is, for example, they'll set up they'll set up a broadcast and they'll call it something like what's your church, for example, or actually, you know what, do me a favor, what's your YouTube channel? I'll look this up right now.
My YouTube channel is the same as the church name, so the House of Hope Praise Ministries.
Yeah. And while Christian's pulling that up, because my church, First Baptist Church in Jamaica, Queens, is one. So you know, one of the things that we started doing there is, yes, it's just like you. The following is big on Facebook. So now, this happened probably like 6-7 months ago, they made sure all the members were subscribed to the YouTube channel, because the members will actually grow the YouTube channel organically for you, because they're going to make sure they're following the channel, their husband, their kids, their aunt, their uncles, all of them, to make sure they subscribe to it. So that's another way where internally within your ministry community, which is quite large, you know, you could start growing and maximizing on that YouTube channel way faster than myself, Christian, and any other people out there who just have who in just, you know, regular stuff. You know what I'm saying?
So do you think we should do YouTube specific so like on certain days we should just broadcast directly to YouTube for this particular event? Or, because I'm finding that if we do simulcast, everybody's going to be on Facebook.
So here's the thing, they're not, that's the thing, they're not.
Yeah.
So I guess you have to look at it like this. So on Facebook, for example, let's say you have 10,000 fans on your Facebook page, or even 1,000 or 100. If they aren't interacting with your content and you're just putting more information out there, it's doing nothing. Because here's what's happening. You're putting it out on Facebook. Facebook then has this algorithm where they decide what gets seen. And so, for example, if somebody's not seeing your content, they're not interacting with it, it then influences the algorithm. So it starts off really good. And then all of a sudden, okay, so people stop interacting with it, they stop seeing it, it plummets, and it plummets to almost zero. And then they want you to spend ads, things like that, to get your content seen by more people. So I understand the share button on Facebook, but are you saying the comments as well develops an algorithm to make more people want to watch? If they're interacting with the post, yes. So for example, if they're liking your post, for example, if they're using the reactions, likes, comments, likes, like the different reactions, that's as an indication to Facebook, hey, this is something to potentially take a look at. If people are commenting on it, for example, that then gives you opportunity to go in and respond to them, for example. But if you're getting nothing, you're putting it out there and you're getting nothing like from response, or you're seeing it drop dramatically, then chances are people are not seeing it. They're not seeing it in their feed. So the only way they know to go see it is if they go directly to your page to see it. Does that make sense?
Wow.
So that's now on the flip side. So let's talk about YouTube. So YouTube, though, what's really unique about YouTube is that if you optimize your videos properly, YouTube will show your content to other people based off of their algorithm is there as well, but it's not controlled as much as Facebook's is. So for example, if you like, I'm going to bring up your channel here real quick. Okay. So here's your channel. So for example, I go to your homepage here, and here's what I see. I know you have videos. Okay. But guess what? They're not showing on the homepage. So all I'm seeing shorts. That's it.
Which is crazy, because I be preaching Leticia in Greek and Hebrew, and I did one video with this little puppy and he got 800 views. I'm like, what is this?
Well, hold on. So part of it is you're doing a YouTube short, which is a very short video. A very short video. So that's part of it.
That is a cute dog, though. Your
other ones, if I go here and I'm going to look at, like, let's just look at your newest stuff. So, okay, you've got, look at this. You spent, I'm not calling you out on this, by the way. I'm just highlighting this for people. You spent 43 minutes. You got 1 view. You spent 53 minutes. You got no views. You spent 72 minutes. You got 4 views. You're spending a lot of time here. So out of 6 videos that you spent, I'm going to say on average 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, you've gotten 8 views, and chances are some of those views might be yourself.
Right.
Okay? So, and that's just the last 6 videos. So the things that I would recommend doing here. So for example, like what, for example, midweek encounter. So this is where like you're going to want to pick some sort of keyword, some sort of like relevant information around what that video is about. So for example, I'm going to open this video. If I go in here and I look at like so this is your title, welcome to midweek encounter. I see your description is welcome to midweek encounter. So you basically have said the same thing as the title and the description. That doesn't tell me anything about the video either. Right.
Okay.
Now, in addition to that, there's also this section here called tags, and there are no tags.
Got you.
Okay. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay. So what I want to do, I'm gonna bring up a StreamYard video here. So let me go and find one of these to bring up. So let's bring up something like, and it's also not necessarily about the number of like, it's not about like, oh, we're a bigger company or things like that. I want to share this. I want to show you this because this should hopefully make sense. Okay. So this particular video that we did was, so we did a live stream. Our show is called Learn with StreamYard. Okay. But this video, I titled it, How to Use a Smartphone as a Webcam. Okay. So this is the video. So it's how to use your smartphone as a webcam. So I'm going to walk you through this. So we have a show. Our show is called, it's on the StreamYard YouTube channel. Our show is called Learn with StreamYard. Our title of our video is How to Use a Smartphone as a Webcam. So this is, people are able to like know what they're going to be getting when they watch. Does that make sense?
I got you.
So that's my title. So now when I break down my description, so here's my description. So I'm like telling people, learn how to use your smartphone as a webcam. You're going to join, who are you going to be learning from? So for example, we had the guy that made the tool. We've got the tool. We've got myself. We've got our social media manager, Julie Riley. And then we highlight a couple of things people are going to learn. For example, they're going to learn how to use their smartphone as a webcam. They're going to learn how to turn their smartphone into a webcam. Does it make sense?
Got you.
And then there's this section called tags that we talked about. And as you can see, I've got quite a few tags here as well. So these things go in, and then this is stuff that YouTube looks at. So it doesn't matter if this is pre-recorded or live. This is stuff they look at. Yeah. So let me see if I rank for anything. Okay. So I rank for a couple tags. So I rank for like 3 things right now. And this,
I didn't even know all of this.
It increases and it decreases. So for example, when I start this live, I might be ranking for like 10 tags, but then over time it might diminish because it may not be as popular at the moment. But you can always start to rank for things as well. Does that make sense?
I love it. You just helped me.
It's good. That's what we're here for.
Yeah. So here's, I'm gonna let you guys go, but my wife is always telling me, you're doing too much. How much is too much? Because I'm like, the pandemic, people are home. Is there a too much, or is there a not enough?
Leticia?
Well, it depends on, is she saying you're spending too much time doing it, or is it like you're overwhelmed?
She said, you wearing the people out. You wearing them out.
Are they saying that?
How often are you? Let's do this. How much? What are you like? Explain. Just give us a quick 30-second rundown. What are you doing?
So we had a Monday night where we interviewed authors, business people, things of that nature. Then of course we would do our midweek encounter, which is like into our Bible study, and then we would do Sunday morning.
Okay.
But that's how it normally is. I grew up going to church every day other than Wednesday, but we had to go every day during the week. So it's like you're given that, white glove effect, by bringing your ministry online. Now, if the members are okay with that, with what you're doing, then go for it. But I will also build a community at the same time. Like, do y'all have a Facebook group, or are you collecting emails? Like, start, pivoting, doing things like that. So to constantly make sure the members don't go astray, because there's so many ministries out there online now.
Absolutely.
It's like millions. So you want to make sure. So look at, the top people like the TD Jakes and the mid-level ministries, and then the ones that are just up and coming, and see exactly what they're doing. So start doing like your market research now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my last question. What do you think should be next? Because we're averaging about 1,300 views on our Facebook platform, and you just led me right into it. What should we be doing next?
Build a Facebook group and have the members join. And when they join the group, like on a Facebook group, you can have it to where the minute somebody hits the join button, they have to answer some questions. Yep. One of the questions, collect their emails, start building up that email list to notify them on any announcements, anything that coming up, donation button, things like that. So start, building that audience offline as well with your email marketing and also with your Facebook group community.
Thank you so much.
And Pastor Nelson, like I'll put it in the comments, but feel free to send me a private message. Okay.
Yeah, me too. I'm trying to find your.
Yeah, I'm going to get on your nerves now.
It's okay. It is okay. Yeah, NLT said your members will tell you. That's right. They sure will.
And here's the thing. I just want to make a quick point to what Leticia said about, for example, like building an email list. So you want to like make it easy for people to opt in. So for example, if you're using like an email service like a MailChimp or like an Aweber or ConvertKit or things like that, they typically have like a form, like some code that you can drop on a web page. You just copy, paste, and it will have. It won't look pretty necessarily, but it will be things like, well, hey, I want their name, I want their email address, for example, and you can set up a page. So it could be just, yourwebsite.com/newsletter. And they go there and then they're able to easily sign up for your email newsletter versus don't have them, for example, don't go live and be like, hey, drop your email address in the comments. Because technically you can't add them to that list. They need to opt in. Does that make sense?
Gotcha. Yeah.
So what you could do is once they join a group, have a membership profile form. And just like Christian said, have that form up, the members fill it out so that way you can keep in contact with them. Don't just have them drop their email in the comments.
Right. Yeah, they go to our website and hit subscribe, and that's how we get their emails.
Yep.
Yeah, so but not all of them go there.
I know. Yeah, are websites still a thing, or are they kind of like obsolete websites?
Oh yeah, you should totally have a website.
You should.
It doesn't have to be complicated. Like for example, you could put together a website where all it is simply every one of your YouTube videos are embedded on a page on your website, like one page. So like every episode gets one page, and then that's a great way. Like, here's the thing with social media, you're building on rented land.
Exactly.
So it's great to broadcast out to the channels, but you still want to have a home base somewhere that you own versus putting everything on the channels.
That's right.
Like it's good to put on the channels, but it's good to have a home base where you collect everything. Yeah. And you have that, you basically have built that presence that you can give to somebody so they get a better understanding of what you are.
Exactly.
And, your church, for example.
Yeah. And I understand the issue you're having with the members actually filling out the form. So you need a link that takes them directly to the form.
Yeah.
Because I know what you say, like you have it and they're not hitting it. But so just send them a link that takes them directly to that form so they can sign up. Yeah. Make it easier.
Thank you so much, guys. I'll send you a message.
Awesome.
Also, we'll talk
and by the way, you got some fans. So Dr. Trevor in here says she loves the purple and yellow. Those are her brand colors as well. So looking good. And your video quality is really good, by the way.
It is. It is. It's really good.
Listen, I told you, we were like this when we first started. Now we added as we went. So
yes, leveling up. I love it.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
You're welcome. Thank you, Pastor.
Okay, so let's answer a couple questions real quick here. We had a really good. His video was amazing, by the way.
It was, yeah, it really, really was.
So El Rouge here is asking, what's the best way for a DJ to share computer audio if they're using Serato equipment and not a Chrome tab?
Well, I don't know that.
So I'm not familiar with Serato or Serato. It may be like, so for something like that, I would recommend two things actually. So the first one, if you're on a Mac, I'd recommend using, I'd look into a tool like Loopback. So check out Loopback if you're on a Mac, and then if you're on a PC, let me actually get the video here as well, by the way.
Yeah.
If you're on a PC, I would check out Voice Meter
Mm-hmm.
for something like that. And I'm going to also share a video for that one as well. Let me just find it real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So this is, for example, this video is how to add background music. But it's also one of those things where just it's helping you set it up so that then when you plug in DJ equipment, for example, it could work.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
here we go. Okay, so let's keep going. What other questions?
Good suggestion. That was a good question, actually. We got a lot of DJs on today.
We do, yes.
Waka, waka, waka.
What else? What other questions do you see?
Yes. I really, let me say this. I really love DJ's comment here. She said, I appreciate how much you have reassured me today in my journey. I love that. That was my highlight right there. All right. So let's see the questions. X. And we're going to have Lynn. I'm sorry. I'm going to pronounce her name wrong. How you pronounce it, Christian?
Leniuka? Or sorry, Leniukha. Did I say that right? Okay.
Oh, Tony has a question. He said, can I use StreamYard to record a podcast but not go live? I haven't figured it out how.
So the answer is yes. Yes, you can do that, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So Tony, do me a favor. If you can jump on screen, I'd love to talk about that, actually. We just published an article as well on that. And so but if you want to come on screen to talk about that, happy to walk you through that, actually, because it's a question that that we had quite a bit of people asking, and so we made an article on it. So great one.
Great one.
I want to bring up Dr. Severine's
yes.
comment here. I stopped broadcasting on Facebook or on her Facebook page. It goes directly to YouTube because this is where I want people to listen so I can get hours and watch time. Good idea. Very good idea. So I know somebody was asking earlier about like how long should the stream be? For example, 1, 2, 3, 4 hours. I would say it needs to be, so in the same context, it needs to be as long as it needs to get your point across. But you also have to look at it like this. For example, we broadcast live stream reviews, and most of the time these shows are between 2 and 4 hours. And here's the thing: we do that because, like, sometimes we'll cut it short because if we notice the numbers really start to drop. Other times, we do have time constraints, but we always, partition, or we always set aside, 2 to 3 hours to do the show. So I'd say this. I mean, the longer your show times are on the channel, you do want to get people to watch, but you want to make sure that people are still tuning in. So if it's
exactly,
if you're like, hey, I'm going to stream for 3 hours and people aren't watching and you're getting 1 or 2 people, why would you stream for 2 hours if you're not getting anyone to tune in? I think you'd be better off streaming for like an hour, for example, and then use that other hour to network.
That's right.
Bring people to your stream, things like that,
Yeah, you have to have, the content is important. If the content takes you 1 hour, go for it. But again, it's also, you have to look at who's tuning in. What is your call to action? Are you getting them to join your group? Are you getting them to join your list? Are you getting them to buy your offer? That's what it's about.
One last point here. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
And definitely with the young lady that mentioned how she builds her traffic towards YouTube, that is great. But also keep in mind to syndicate that. Take the best parts of that live that you did on YouTube, cut it up, and upload it on your other platforms so other people can tune in.
Definitely. So I'm going to
YouTube show.
I'm going to highlight NLTMW's comment, and then we're going to bring her on, by the way. So if you have 100 people to watch, why does it matter where they watch? They should watch where they're used to watching content. Some people will just not use Facebook, for example. It is a good point. Like, for example, if somebody says, when's the best time to go live to reach the most people? There's no answer, because
there's no answer to that.
It doesn't matter when the best time is. It matters when is the best time for your audience.
Exactly.
So, for example, if you're like, well, hey, I'm going to stream at like 6 o'clock at night, for example, like chances are people are at dinner, for example, they're busy, and you have to also look at who your audience is. For example, if you're streaming and you're trying to reach somebody who likely has a family, for example, chances are at that time they're going to be at dinner, for example, or if they've got so if that's your target audience, let's say you're doing something, let's say it's a kids related video, like in regards to hobby video or things like that to teach kids how to do something. For example, you wouldn't stream at like 6 o'clock at night because chances are the kid's going to bed, they're having dinner, they're brushing their teeth, things like that. So you want to make sure that you're doing it at a different time, which for you could be at the beginning.
And to piggyback off of that, you know, you also want to make sure the reason why I simulcast on all platforms is number one, what I was finding that people were making fake accounts with my name on it. So people know that my account's a real account because they see that I do stream on it. So that's number one. If you're a business, definitely you want to simulcast so that people know that that is your actual account. And if the people see more and more activity on it, you know what I'm saying? Like people can't just use an account, go live and use their face when people know, hey, that's not Leticia. That's somebody else. So that's another reason why. And again, guys, we have to remember we're not building content for today. We're building content for the future as well.
Yep. So let's do this. Let's bring on our guest.
Yes. Please help us with your name.
And I want to say thanks so much thanks for joining us. How you doing?
Hi guys. I'm Lynn Yukta. I think you got it right there, Christian. Hello from South Africa. I'm in Cape Town, South Africa, actually. Nice. And I sorry, is the audio fine? Should I plug in my mic?
Your audio is actually very good.
It's good.
Okay.
I would say if you want to, if we can just demonstrate this to people, rotate your phone sideways. Let's see if the rotation locks on. There
you go.
Look at that.
Ah, okay.
So all right.
Okay.
So if you're streaming on mobile or you're joining a broadcast, you can rotate your phone. It will eliminate the black bars, for example, on your broadcast. So just letting you know that some people don't know that they can rotate it. So what question do you have? Tell us about your show, who you are, what your show is about, and then what questions do you have?
Yes.
Okay, well, it's not like a fully fledged show. I kind of stumbled on StreamYard purely by accident on Facebook. And it was at a time I'm quite involved with the sport activities in my country, specifically for Q Sport. So 9-ball, Chinese pool, snooker, and blackball. So those are the different Q sports that are played in the country. And obviously with the pandemic, we were restricted from having live interaction with players across the country like we usually do. So it kind of forced us to come up with ways to make the sport accessible. And then the whole virtual playing of pool was born through the pandemic, was forced actually from the pandemic. So what's happened is a lot of some of the people that started with the virtual formats, they were using Zoom. I was drawn to StreamYard specifically because the thing that caught my attention was the ability to bring up a comment on the stream. And I loved that because prior to us going full speed ahead with virtual tournaments, we realized that having commentary and stuff on live streams when we were able to do it garnered so much more interaction on the posts. And like you said earlier to the previous guest, when there is interaction on the live stream, then there's 100 more people that join, and it's probably due to the algorithm that you alluded to. So what I would love for you guys, I did share the link in the comment section on your live stream on Facebook for how we are doing it. So to give you an idea, we have one team on this side and one team in another part of the country. And obviously we have to change the rules because they're playing virtually, but they actually are engaged in a tournament. So what I've been doing, I've got a team that we most of us are volunteers. I'm also involved with the professional circuit, but this is more on grassroots level where we're trying to introduce people to the sport and get them to play. Nice. So what I've been doing is using the banners on StreamYard to update scores between the two teams, that sort of thing. And then we obviously have somebody, to highlight comments. And if possible, we have somebody with commentary as well to get more interaction on the post. Now, there are apps out there that allow you to do live scoring. I don't know if you guys are familiar. There's something, for example, called SportCam. It's a wonderful tool that you can embed onto your Facebook stream. You can't do it with StreamYard. But I was thinking if those kind of features, because I don't know how many people are using StreamYard for sport at the moment, but we definitely are. And I am trying to think about all the other ways, we can make streaming, even if it's live tournaments. Besides the virtual thing, I've got a big event coming up with the top players in the country participating. I'd love to be able to showcase all the tables. I'd love to be able to have a score that can be updated immediately. I'd love to be able to have commentary without too much background feedback. And also what I found with the virtual streaming of sports, if we mute mics, it really affects the ambiance. With sport, you need to hear the teammates cheering. You need to hear the background vibe, whether it's the music. And I know with the link on Facebook, somebody spoke about, their stuff getting blocked. But just so that everyone knows, what we do is we just type in. So even with StreamYard, when I pre-schedule a live broadcast, I will type in there that we don't own the rights to the music. So then Facebook won't block it. Because
so
by very, it works.
It actually doesn't. It actually doesn't. Like, just, it doesn't matter that you put that in there. Facebook doesn't care.
Yeah.
It's
no. But my first, Christian, actually, my very first stream with StreamYard was blocked by Facebook, because I didn't. I didn't do that. We were doing it previously, and I forgot to do it when we went live with StreamYard the first time. So consequently, we've been putting that in, and that helps. For some reason, it helps. So and because we've always got a lot of American music playing in the background. So I was wondering, it would be fantastic if there are other people in the sports industry that's using StreamYard. I would love to talk to you guys about making features available to really take, sports broadcasting to the next level, especially in terms of live sports. I mean, there's other sports as well that I can see this being applied for, like, for example, darts, even chess, that kind of thing.
I could definitely see that transition as well. What it sounds like to me, with all the list of things that you was mentioning, looks like you're going to probably need to hire a producer very soon to be able to do the switching and managing, so that you could focus on the audience and the content and stuff like that. So try to look into that. If I were you right now, I would probably sit down and write out your show flow. Like, how do you want things to get done by, okay, the first 10 minutes, this is what we're going to do. The next 20 minutes, this is what's going to happen. This needs to be pulled up. This countdown needs to go here. But I know with sports shows, a lot of times you don't know when somebody's going to make a touchdown or whatever. But I really think maybe, you hiring some help would get things sort of streamlined for you and moving easily.
Yeah, it will. I think, to be quite honest, I've managed to do it being a player in the team, updating the banner with the scores, highlighting certain comments from the peanut gallery. So it's doable. It's doable. It's not ideal if you're also participating in the competition. I was just, this is more from the perspective of, developing features to make it a lot more easier and a lot more smarter. If we could, rival with you guys, you all have ESPN, I think, in the States. We want to be able to elevate it to that level as much as possible with as many things that we can do, because we do see the potential. We do see the potential for it.
Wow.
So, do me a favor. So what was the tool you mentioned you said you were using?
I can't use that tool on StreamYard because we did contact. It's called SportCam.
Okay. So I'll look that up. I'll look it up and see if there's something. As far as feature request, I would say this. So it's SportCam app. Is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll look that up afterwards. So for a feature request, you want I'm making notes right now to our team. So you basically want to be able to update live scoring, basically.
Yeah. And I know at this point, I can switch between. I can have different tables for my sport. I can have different cameras on different tables and show which one I want to be shown at any given time, or even show more than one. So that's fantastic. Like I said, my one major concern was having to switch off the mics if I have more than 2 guests on because of the feedback that's created. But then I also cut off the ambience, and that, it affects let's say, the viewing quality for potential viewers.
Yeah. So okay. So I have a sort of I guess a tip maybe for that. So one thing you have to do. So a lot of people will do this. They'll take their smartphone, for example. They'll take this, and what they'll do is they'll do 2 things. They'll just turn the mic all the way down, for example. And the thing is, I will say this: just doing that does not actually mute the mic, and that's an Apple thing. It works on if you've got, for example, a laptop, same thing. Android probably works the same way. It does not completely mute the mic. So it turns the volume on. So when you then when you have that camera open, you're going to have feedback. The way you solve that is the easiest way is to plug in a pair of old headphones without a microphone onto that device. And if they're old headphones, just cut the cord so it tricks the device to think that it's off. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's going to be how you eliminate your echo if you've got your cameras there. One thing I also want to do, by the way, can you, what's your channel called is it a YouTube channel?
No, we stream live onto a Facebook page. Okay. So I mean, I started using StreamYard. It's South African Chinese Pool Association.
Okay, I just want to pull it up because I want to show. I'll show our viewers. So if they want to like. But I want to thank Elwin and Charles and Sofan. Thanks a lot for being patient, by the way. We're going to bring you on here in a second as well. So you've got, I think I've got the right one here. Let's see. Okay, so you've got some rankings here. Let's just see. And I want to show our viewers this. So basically, I think this is your Facebook page. Hopefully I got the right one, right?
Yeah, I think there's just one.
Okay, is this your page?
Yes, that's the one.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, so let me just take a quick look here. So, okay, so I see what you're doing here. Okay, so you've got a couple things. So you've got. So no, this is very good actually. So okay, so you basically So the first thing I would say is, I would recommend if you get the feedback here, plug in the headphones, trick the thing into thinking that it's on. Yeah. Or sorry, trick the thing thinking that the microphone is off. That's the first thing. Another thing you could also do, and we just published a video on this. If you go to the StreamYard YouTube channel, we just published a video on it's on using your smartphone as a webcam. And so I'm wondering, like, this will actually like let you also get better quality as well. And there's some Zoom features that you could tap into. So if you plug into like a laptop, it'll let you use your smartphone. This is so cool. But this is really neat to see how you're doing.
I love pool. I love me some pool. Yes.
You need a producer. I can tell you right now. You need.
Yeah, that's what I was. That's the first thing.
I've been winging it, guys.
You've been doing a great job. You have, but I do see this going to another level for you, which is amazing.
Yeah, because I was thinking of also having some international tournaments on the platform. But obviously, if I'm going to open up a competition to like top players from the world, I need to make sure all the ducks are in the row, because the rest of the world isn't as, let's say, as accommodating as South Africans are for glitches.
Yeah.
I like that show. When you stay in pool, I thought you meant swimming and stuff. I'm like, well, girl, like, how you going to kick it? But that I like. Oh, that's exciting.
So I'm going to drop this video, by the way. This is using your smartphone as a webcam. It's called Re-Incubate Camo. And so we had the founder join us for an episode on an episode
that was fun.
Called Learn with StreamYard. And so I would recommend checking that out. Check out the software. You can download, you can try it out. See how you like it, if it actually can help you, because it has some things like, so basically what it does is this. So for example, if you ever need a better camera, like you have 3 cameras on the back of this would let you switch between the different cameras. So then that way you'd be able to get some tighter shots, for example, on what you're doing. I love what you're doing. It's really cool. So, but yeah, so that might help you. So awesome.
Okay. Great. Thank you, guys. Thank you. And thank you for this awesome thing that you guys do with these, let's say, webinars or whatever. It's really cool because it also kind of reminds me, okay, StreamYard. So great. Thank you so much for this. Thank you.
Thank you for being on me watching your show.
Yeah.
And do me a favor,
Okay, then.
also send me a private message as well. So
Yeah.
just send me a private message, and because I want to learn more about what you're doing. Okay.
Me too.
Okay. Awesome. Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay.
Bye.
So this is really cool. That was really cool.
I
mean,
when I saw you share the screen, I was like, oh, that's gonna be good.
Yeah.
I won't be tuning in.
So let me see. So yeah, Moana so I was telling her about lately. It is a little bit expensive, or seems like it's expensive. It's about $200 a month or something like that, but uses artificial intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
The way that it works is you put your video in and then it spits out the stuff for you. So you have to look at it like this. If you value your time at $100 an hour, for example, you're saving yourself a ton of time. If you're, for example, not a video editor, you got to go find stuff. For example, you have to actually go and do all the stuff yourself. It automatically does it. It scans the audio and pulls out the clips and stuff for you.
And let me say something to that. If you do hire somebody to do it for you, they're charging you $150 per clip. You're paying $200, and that's unlimited amount. Is it unlimited amount of videos I can upload and cut up, Christian?
Let me actually pull up the.
Yeah, that's how I think. And another thing, if you're using it for business, you have to ask yourself, "Wow, I'm spending $200 on this. I have to make double that to make sure I maintain and pay that." So that's how I think of things when it comes to expenses. But
so
yeah.
So it's $200 a month. It gives you a text auto generator in all the plans. It gives you AI auto generator plus $100 per dashboard per month. There's a video auto generator for plus $150 per dashboard per month. There's a post prep and tracking links. There's bulk scheduling. So you're not actually just getting a tool to cut things up. It's also doing the schedule. It can help you with the scheduling as well. So you're actually getting two tools in one. There's the marketing calendar, so you can get a better idea of what you have scheduled out. There's the content analytics, so you can see what's working. There's the social media performance report.
So it's like a VA in one.
So you have to look at it like this. If I had to go gather social media analytics, I've got to go to Facebook. I've got to go to YouTube. I've got to go to Twitter, for example, to gather that information.
More time away from other things.
Exactly. So you have to just look at it from a cost benefit analysis here. Okay. So let me answer a couple more questions.
Cost benefit analysis.
And by the way, Heather, love that. You like the flow of the show, each step during the broadcast. Yeah. So, again, we love doing this. This is why we do this.
That's right.
Yeah. And by the way, it looks like Albert noticed our big spike in viewers as well. We noticed we had maybe 30 or 40 tuning in, and then all of a sudden it spiked all the way over 100, which is pretty amazing.
That's right.
And
this is only the 12th episode.
Yeah. Let's see. So let me just look at this. RVing with a group using StreamYard for the last 10 days. I'd like to have it all saved and uploaded, downloaded. So that's something you're going to have to do on your end, actually, RVing. You have to download the videos yourself.
Yeah.
I know
we will pay.
We'll see. I will make a point though. I'll put this in our feature request actually. You want automatic uploads and downloads of video and audio files.
I second that because I forget, Christian.
Nope. Makes a lot of sense. Yep. So it's not necessarily about having that, it's partly about having the workflow, but also just keeping in mind that you have to make sure you do it. So I just made a note to put it in there.
That's right.
So,
thank you, RV.
And then Moana, a VA for $200 per month. Yep.
So,
and RVing, it's a 10-day long live stream. So interesting. Okay. Very cool. It says it's a 10-day long live stream. So I'm not sure how you're going to do that. I know that the platforms usually have limits, i.e. Facebook, YouTube, etc. So I'm not sure if
is he going live for 10 whole days?
I'm not sure. That's what it sounds like, but yeah.
My God, today.
Landlord advocates, by the way. Hold on. 2410. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, 2410. Sorry. So, okay. So one quick comment, and then we're going to bring on Elwin, right, Leticia?
Yeah, Elwin's next. Yep.
Landlord advocates. I've watched enough great videos on StreamYard. Must take the leap and do my first live stream with StreamYard. absolutely. Do me a favor, landlord advocates, if you have any questions, I'd love to have you come on.
Yeah, come on.
Like what can we do today to get you to like start using not just start using StreamYard, but start streaming. So feel free to come on. I'll put a note here. Leticia, let's go and bring on Elwin.
That's right.
Elwin, how you doing?
Good. Happy Easter to you guys.
Yeah, you too.
Right on.
You are, so first time seeing you here. Thanks a lot for joining us, by the way. Do us a favor, tell us who you are, what your stream is about, and then what questions you have.
Okay, yeah, sure. So the stream is about on the island in Newfoundland in Canada here. We have a lot of back country trails, and in the winter is all snowmobile. In the summers, UTV and motorbikes and that kind of stuff. And so on our Facebook page, and that's our main page, is on the Facebook page, and we've just now kind of migrated into the YouTube side of things. So my problem is I host a talk show, and the last talk show that we had two people that were with iOS devices. One had a tablet and the other one was on a phone, I believe.
Okay.
And I got this cracking noise, and we asked them to mute their mics, and we tried different things, but it kept happening, and I wasn't sure where it was coming from, but we carried on the show anyway.
Okay.
But it was annoying. It was just like someone typing on a typewriter or something. So offline, my wife has an iPhone, so today I went and logged onto her phone. And I got that same noise, that same, little cracking thing, right?
Yeah.
And then, so I said, okay, I'll stream to my Android.
Okay.
And it was crystal clear. So I don't know if it's something that I'm generating or if it's something that's unique with an iOS device or what. But the whole show, like halfway, not even halfway, as soon as we got going with our guests, it was like that little cracking noise was happening the whole time. And so I had to mute two of them that was running the iOS device, and I got that little cracking noise go away. But I mean, they were our guests, so they were doing most of the talking, so I had to bring them back on again, right? So
yeah,
I don't know if that's something that's common or if it's just something that, if I'm pushing it out or what, I really don't know.
So one of those things that I think so the first thing I would say you should try, by the way, is I'd recommend if you ever get cracking or any kind of like interference when somebody immediately joins, I would have them leave and then come back in.
Yeah, I've done that twice.
Okay. So
I did
first
it pre-show, right? Actually. So.
Yeah. So that's one thing I would do. And LTNW, that's an excellent point he just makes, by the way.
I saw that.
So first thing also I would say is have everybody wear headphones. I assume they probably were.
No, there was three that wasn't. And I mentioned that prior to the show as well, like when we were in the back room. And, they're all new at this and, in front of a camera and, they're a little nervous and the volume is up. So that's we come on 15 minutes prior to our show just for that reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'd say for starters, I mean just to kind of help. By the way, for everybody who's watching, and if you get people that if they're new, for example, and they're not using headphones, I would say this: just tell them it's common courtesy to wear headphones.
Yes.
Even though it may be like somewhat uncomfortable, things like that. The reason is because, for example, everybody can then hear your broadcast, and everyone else that's not wearing headphones, if they're not wearing headphones, it's also picking up any kind of noise in their area. So it could very well be like something they bump into, for example, if they've got a creaky chair. I'm just throwing some ideas out there to people. So encourage them to wear headphones regardless.
But today, now, when I logged on to my wife's iOS phone, the iPhone, I got it too. No, she wasn't having a headset on or nothing. It was just open mic kind of thing, open speaker, right?
So also though, to that point as well. So it very well could, I'm just throwing this out there, could be an iOS bug. Do me a favor. Can you actually, let me see, it's StreamYard.com/contact.
Okay.
Can you do me a favor and just like shoot them a message and just say like, hey, I've been using whatever the version of iOS is, send them the like version that you're using, or like your wife, make sure like what model phone you're using, if you're using a tablet, for example, and what like the browser, and obviously what version of that iOS operating system you're using. And then also, if you happen to have a link to your channel, I'd love to have you send them that. And the reason is because
so I just put it there in the private chat there.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, so
because we've had, I know at one point there was an iOS bug a while ago where it was only on certain iPads that like we started something and like it would sound funny at the beginning, and it was an iOS, it was a Safari thing that they had, or I think it was Safari, they had to fix, i.e. iOS had to fix it. So, but I do want to highlight a really good comment here, actually. So, are you familiar with are you on the StreamYard Pro account or?
Yes, I'm on the Pro account.
Okay. So do me a favor on StreamYard, the StreamYard Pro account. Did you see earlier about how you can turn on the individual audio tracks? I assume you're using that.
Yeah, no, I don't download the files after for anything. We just throw it on their Facebook group.
Yeah.
I actually joined their Facebook group a little while ago and brought StreamYard to them. And this probably is our 4th broadcast now. And I mean, it's just growing. It's just a lot of interest in it and that kind of stuff. And I experimented with Zoom and Restream and all the other ones. I had them all. And I mean, StreamYard is the cat's meow, I think. So
awesome. No,
cat's meow. I like that.
I want to highlight NLTMW's comment, by the way. It's just the maybe to help. So the way that feature works, you probably know this, but every single, for example, person that is coming into this live stream, when I go to download the file afterwards, you're all going to be individual files for me.
Yes.
So I would say maybe what you can do to help pinpoint where the issue potentially is, download. This is a great point by NLTMW. Download the files. And then, just pinpoint where that
one is.
Exactly. Because then, let's say, for example, it's Leticia.
Yeah.
Then you're going to know Leticia has something on her end, potentially.
Let's get Leticia.
Well, no, I mean, sorry to call you out there. I am.
No, that's a good thought, because I never even thought of that. I just figured it was one of the guys' units and trying to pinpoint it, and we're going to have them back on again some other time. So I'll have to say, okay, the last track that right on. That's good.
Yeah. So that's an excellent point he makes. I mean, I think so. I would recommend trying that, because then that can at least help you, and go from there.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Awesome.
Thank you. I love your setup.
Oh yeah, well, I run Wirecast, and so I got a bunch of stuff on the go, a couple of computers and all that.
Very cool. And I see you're using the ATEM Mini in the background as well.
Just a second here. I'll see if I can hear.
And
that's my setup.
So as you can see,
he's got a
lot of
switcher.
equipment. But I want to talk about this actually real quick. So there was somebody asking about picture-in-picture. Okay, so one of the ways that you can do picture-in-picture is with an ATEM Mini. So there is a picture-in-picture feature.
So that's looking down on my desk. So.
Yep, and then I think if you turn the picture-in-picture on, I think on the up there by the logo, I think. If you go up by the Blackmagic logo, I think it's there. Or I think does your model have the picture-in-picture?
Yes, I do. I have that as well. Yeah.
So he can turn on picture-in-picture with the switcher, which is pretty fantastic.
What I do is I throw that on a different track on Wirecast, and I can get the same thing again. So.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh wow! I need to get this stuff.
So, for example, I just put picture-in-picture on mine, so I'm in the.
And I use Canva a lot, and so throughout my show, I have I got a Wheel of Fortune thing with all the names when we do a draw, and I got all kinds of stuff that's going on in the background and that I bring on screen. So
do me a favor, Elwin. Can you send me a private message as well? I'm telling everybody, send me private messages.
Send it to me too.
I want to chat more with you, actually.
Yes.
More about how you're using StreamYard, and then also I also do learn with StreamYard and things like that. So you seem like you're extremely knowledgeable as well. So you seem like cool stuff.
Yeah, I got some background in this stuff. So
awesome. Well, do me a favor, send me a private message. I want to chat more. So
right on. Okay,
awesome.
And listen,
thank you.
I've been watching you guys forever, or when you've been on, and what you got, the community that you got going here for helping out. Awesome.
Aww.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we're going to work to get your issue solved as well.
Yes.
So we'll figure out what that is.
Yeah, I'm going to do that because it hasn't been 15 days, so I'll download the tracks here and I'll try to pinpoint what's going on there. So, yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Yes, who's the culprit?
Okay, thank you very much.
We'll see you later. Bye.
Okay, yeah, bye-bye.
Because it is hard when you're doing a summit and somebody's mic is not working, or they hear, I don't hear the beeping. I don't hear it is them.
Yeah. Yep. So let's go through a couple of comments. By the way, I want to thank NLTMW. I want to say thank you very much for that suggestion, because that was a great suggestion to download the individual audio tracks if you're using a StreamYard Pro account. It's a feature of the Pro account, but it's a great way to pinpoint. It's a great way to be able to, for example, you want to create a podcast, you download your files, they're all there, and you can decide what you want to cut up, for example, and bring your final podcast file together, or you can use it to also troubleshoot things. So really cool. Are there any other questions you see here, Leticia? We got a lot of people waiting, by the way.
Yeah, I'm doing the waiting room, the green room area. Anthony just hopped on. Yes. So let's see here in the chat. Now, guys, if you have a question, put hashtag ask or join us on the screen.
Yeah,
I think I just passed one.
Let's see. And US Party Company, thanks a lot for this StreamYard's connection with its users. Yep, absolutely. Love helping you guys. So
yeah, we're here to help.
You'll see me around the community. I publish all of our content, our YouTube channel content as well. So definitely, I love helping you guys. So no silly questions. Like, I'm happy to answer them.
I'm scanning through. I'm not. I see a lot of y'all rooting.
So let's do this. We got a lot of people waiting. So let's do this. We got like 5 people.
Host Charles Matthews. He's next.
Okay, so let's bring in Charles. So Charles, pro live streamer as well. Good to see you.
Hey, what's going on? Hey, beautiful. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
I was actually talking to him, but it's okay.
By the way, I've been looking for. I went looking for one of those signs like you have in the background. Okay. I didn't find it yet. So
you didn't find it? Come on now.
I didn't find it, unfortunately. Yeah. So
well, here, just one thing for me, but I do the same thing you guys do. I help people with their internet stuff and how to stream better, because the look is always better. So a couple of things, if you don't mind me helping people out real quick.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no, go ahead.
If you have people coming on your show, always ask them to come on 15 minutes before your show and do a sound check and lighting check.
That's right.
Because like you said, the sound and lighting makes your show better. So if they have bad audio, it looks bad on you because you're controlling everything. So people think, oh, he's got bad audio. No. So what I do is I ask everybody to come on 15 minutes before the show, and then I ask them to do the ABC check. So I ask them to sing their ABCs. Okay. Because every time they sing the letters, I can hear if something's tweaking or popping. Then I know which person it is. And then I mute each one and I go down the line and I can figure out, oh, something's wrong with you, Leticia. Oh, since we're picking on Leticia, something's wrong with you.
Sorry, Leticia.
I love y'all.
Something wrong with your sound, and ask them to reboot again to come back on. So that's perfect. That's actually something that you're absolutely right. Get them to log on a little bit earlier so they don't get that feedback coming in.
Yep. No, excellent. Yeah.
There was somebody asking about, it's actually called Seratos.
Okay, perfect. Yeah.
It's 2 DJ palettes, and he's trying to get music to come in through the DJ Seratos, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Right here. This is all you need, my friend.
What?
Okay. This is called an iRig 2.
Yep.
So basically, you plug in your DJ system out into here.
Yeah. And
then it converts the sound back out.
Yep.
So if you have Seratos, you can just get one of these, plug it in.
Yeah.
She has a double port, and then there's your music converted straight in to put music back out. So it's real simple. You can get it on, any store. You can go to the thing that we love to shop on, Amazon, and just plug it in, and you convert your sound automatically, and you don't have to worry about anything else. It just goes right through.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. And I've used that for some other things as well. And here's the crazy thing about that product. How I want to hear from our viewers. How much do you think that product costs? Because audio equipment can be expensive, right?
Yeah.
And Charles, you know the answer to this.
Yeah.
So just the iRig 2 is $40.
Yep.
And here's the thing: a lot of people, they want to do, like, say you want to do Clubhouse, for example, as well. You can plug this into your phone. Just do, there's a quick little way to do that, so it works for that as well. So bringing in extra mics and whatnot. So
that's exactly it, man, for your phone. Because some people, you want to go live on Facebook, but you want to do audio only.
Yeah.
Then this is a way of doing it.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, perfect. So speaking of audio, I do audio right now. Like I go online and I bring copyright free music. I bring it online and I do it with my fader and everything. But what I would love, like one of my requests from StreamYard is, if you can have a audio built into the system.
Okay.
And then when we go to a commercial or a break or a video, it automatically fades itself out when we play a video. And then when we come back from a video, it fades itself back in.
Ooh.
Okay, so let me make sure I got this. Okay, so hold on, I got to make sure I hit enter. By the way, sorry, I got a little distracted here. So, okay, so I got somebody that wants picture in picture. Okay, fantastic. And then Charles, so explain that one again to me real quick. So I'm gonna make a note.
All right, so right now, if I want audio, I'm bringing it in through my computer stuff. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I have audio, I'm playing audio, I'm going good break. And I said, okay, we'll be right back when you're going to the break. I got to come over here, dip down the audio, come over here, click the play, come back over here, put back on the audio when we come back. Okay. Mm-hmm. I would love that StreamYard already has like a feature where you can put in 2 songs, any 2 songs you want. And it automatically feeds the level when I'm talking with my guest. It sets its own level. And then when I go to break, it fades itself out to bring in the commercial. Or it fades itself out to bring in the video. Yeah. And then the video's over, it just fades itself back on. So go back into my show without me pushing all these buttons over here right now.
Very cool. Got it. Awesome.
And then the other thing that I would love is the template. Because you're absolutely right. When I saw you earlier telling the person how to put, the tags in, the hashtags in, put the template in. Yeah, it's fantastic. But a guy like me, I do a daily show every day.
Every day.
So every day I got to put in the same tags in, the same connections, the same stuff. Every show I'm typing it in every day. If it was a template, I would just swap the name out, swap the name in, swap the business out, swap the name in. Because I put my tags in, I put my website in, I put all that stuff in. So if they can have a built-in template, just for your normal stuff, and then
I get what you're saying. So you don't have to constantly keep re-putting in the information. If it's a daily show, you just save that template for that show and say, "Hey, I want to." Okay.
Yeah.
By the way,
a lot of us have shows.
What was that? Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was saying a lot of us has a daily show. So for me to type every day the same information into all the sections all the time, it gets tedious.
So I do have a couple of things that can save you a bunch of time on something like that.
Perfect.
So the first thing is, and these are tools that I personally use. So one of those is called Copied. It's called copiedapp.com. So
Copied.
So the way that works is it's literally a global clipboard. So for example, every time I type out something, for example, for a live stream, I have it already saved in there. And so for example, I just copy the title, I paste it for my next show, I copy the description, I paste it for the next show. And then I just make my couple little edits to it.
Okay.
And then the other thing also that I also really like, it's called Text Expander. Text Expander is a fantastic tool. Basically, it's a way to set up a template of text that you want populated. So for example, I'll give you a basic example. Let's say I want to send you my StreamYard email address. I could have a key combinations like, SY email, for example, and it will automatically populate that. Alternatively, you can take it beyond that and you can say, let's say it's show 1, for example. So I type out the word show 1 with no space or something like that. And it actually will pop up a form where I can just replace the certain places that I need to replace. Does this make sense?
Yes. Yep.
And then it will paste it into the area that I'm trying to type into.
Okay. So copiedapp.com is the one so you can just copy it over. And the form expander, because it's tedious to keep typing in the thing over and over and over again.
Yeah, the other one's called Text Expander. It's textexpander.com actually. So
I love it.
2 tools that go on a computer, and they're fantastic for saving you a lot of time. I was giving you the basic example because Some people use it for email addresses. They'll use it for information that they're filling in. For example, your address, your name. Leticia, I see your face lighting up there. I think you're like, oh, I got another. I always do this to her, by the way. I always give her a hard time about like.
I don't even be realizing my facial expression. Sorry.
But like, so
she saw like she went to a family's house and saw they just put the new spread on the table. She's like, "Woo!" There it is.
You got the China out today.
But yeah, no, they're tools that can help save you some time, I think.
All right.
But I did make your feature request notes as well.
I appreciate it. Last two.
Awesome.
I like that template idea.
Sure.
Yeah, if you let that pastor that was asking about if it's too much, come on now, pastor. You know, we Caribbean and Black people, we got to have our church.
Yeah,
so you
got to have it every day.
Just put out what you're putting out, my friend. And the thing is, Leticia was right. A website would expand the church 10 times more because not everybody has Facebook and stuff. So with a website, you can put on your daily postings, someone's birthday, your social media. And if the church has swag, that's somewhere that you can focus on your website. Because we all know, like, when the people reading the church bulletins and everything, that's
some old folks ain't gonna go to no Facebook. They not.
No,
they call it the book. You want me to go on the book?
I need to record. By the way, hold on. I totally wish I could record everybody. I'm watching all of our guests backstage waiting to come on, and I see everybody's like laughing and like.
You want me to go on the Pastor? Okay.
So,
and then the last thing, before I go, I know there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
I saw your face, and I made the same face earlier, but I'm not going to say what it was. People, just because you put, I don't own the rights.
You saw a Christian face, not mine. That was Christian.
That was me. But here's the thing: I want to make sure that people know that, like, just saying that's not going. It's not going to change anything.
I love Christian's facial expression.
Listen right now. When people put that and I see it, all in my head is, oh my God, no.
Yes.
Because basically what you're telling them is, I don't own the rights. So if you don't own the rights, don't use it. Don't use
it. Yeah, it's like red flags.
Yeah, so just be careful. The bots are out there. Just because if you got away with it, just be careful, people, because they will shut you down. And for YouTube, you don't want the strike. You don't want the defend. You guys are doing such great jobs out there. Be careful with your streams.
That's right. You're right.
Be careful, guys. But listen, I don't want to keep you guys up. I love you guys. Just if you guys can get that stuff, and everybody keep streaming. That's all you got to do. Chance, push the button and look, act like a fool. Who cares? Enjoy yourself, man.
Stream like a beast.
Hold on. Gotta get it.
Awesome.
I don't even have a t-shirt. I'm jealous.
You don't have one, Leticia? I thought okay.
Y'all don't make it for big girls.
Leticia, just to be honest with you, I texted him 3 times because it didn't come in the mail, so he wrote me back.
He did, actually.
I'll send you Leticia's. So this is actually yours.
I need a 2 or 3 XL, please. StreamYard.
So Charles, do me a favor. Send me a private message as well. Let's chat some more. So
all right, buddy. See you guys later, pal.
Thanks. Bye.
Yeah, that happened to me where I don't know, years ago I was playing music and they took down like 20 videos, Christian. Like I went back to the page and it was like cannot view. I was like, you know what?
You have to be careful. Here's the thing. And here's the other thing. Like if people, just because someone else is doing it and they're successful with it, in the sense of copyrighted music, don't take the chance.
Yeah,
because all it takes, as Charles mentioned, like, it takes just a couple of copyright strikes. You get like 3 and you're permanently banned.
That's right.
So you want, it's not about like, oh, well, I'll create another channel. It's not about that, because they're going to then look at your IP address and then they're going to immediately ban or block your other channel that you create. So you want to be very mindful about what you're doing and not necessarily don't try to push the envelope on something like that. What I would try to push the envelope on is the quality of my show, for example, the content that I'm putting out there, the guests that I'm having on. It's not about, the music. Like if you want, for example, if you want to do streaming for, fitness, for example, and you don't have the rights to the music and, like my audience isn't going to like this. Well, let's identify a resource or a way that you can get the rights to use music. It doesn't mean that you're going to get the most popular music, and that's unfortunate. Yes. But for example, I'll throw out like Peloton, what are they, like Soul Cycle, those kinds of places, same exact thing. They don't get the music for free. They have to pay a license. Everybody has to pay a license to
pay
use
your way.
music that somebody else has created. So I wouldn't take the chance.
I wouldn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me go through and on just a couple of quick notes. Joel makes a really good point, by the way. Joel, thanks a lot for all these great comments you're leaving. Trademark attorneys cringe when they see disclaimers on social media. Absolutely. It doesn't matter.
No,
like they don't, it's the same thing of buying a business license versus buying a personal license to a video, for example. It doesn't matter if your business doesn't make any money. They still want, if you are a business, they want you to buy that license. And it's not like, and like, oh, I'll buy the personal license. No, like you need to buy the right kind of license for your business.
That's right.
So don't cut the corners. Okay, awesome. So we got lots of really good stuff here. So do me a favor. Who do you want to bring on? Go ahead and bring on whoever you want to bring on next, Leticia.
Yes, let's bring on Peter. He said, is it possible to rerun a previous live show again live? Sorry, I'm out walking and I'm stopping to watch.
Okay, so thanks first of all, thanks for sticking with us. I mean, love how people are like watching when they're out walking. That's awesome. So
that's great. I need to go walk.
You can't rerun the previous live stream, but what you can do is, this is what I would do. I would download the video. So download the previous live stream. And then we have two ways you could do this. Actually, there's three ways. The first one would be drop that video into browser tab and do a screen share on that, or sorry, do a share feature. So share the Chrome tab. Make sure you check that box for the audio. However, the second way would be, and if it probably won't fall into the second way, you can use the video clips feature located under the brand section. However, that's 10 minutes or 200 megabytes. So you wouldn't be able to really probably play that. So what I would do is I would use the new share feature at the bottom where it's share, and then there's a video file option, and it will play it from your hard drive. So it basically, your machine is doing the work.
That's right.
That's what I would do. And then bring it into your stream. So, and just make sure it's clear to people that it's being streamed again. Okay. So Leticia, feel free to bring on our next guest.
Yes. Soul Fan. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right.
Hey guys,
thanks for your patience, by the way. So I want to thank everyone for being patient here.
I like to apologize for my setup, my COVID hair, and and everything else. So please don't zoom on me. Let's keep it at 3 people. Don't zoom on me; it's too much. I'm too
camera shy.
Yeah, so I'm holding the iPad, so I'm trying to be as stable as possible. Yeah, thanks, guys. Actually, I wanted to share some copyright issues if people want to hear about them. Basically, we do a soccer podcast where I'm in Montreal, Canada. So we do a soccer show on video live for our Patreons, and then publicly later on YouTube and stuff. And sometimes we show some goals. We basically cover MLS, Major League Soccer. So and they're much more lean, much more cool and nice about sharing their goals, whether it's on Twitter or on YouTube, and we just share the share screen feature. But YouTube obviously will see it as a copyright claim, and they put a claim on it. Could be Fox or ESPN or the local TV channel that, the algorithm recognizes that this is you don't own it, so there's a claim, so you can't monetize a video, which we don't have anyways enough subscribers to monetize. But at least we'll never get a strike. But we never went, Europe or Premier League or if you want to go NFL, these leagues will probably shut you down. Yeah. So depending, we're lucky with Major League Soccer, they're kind of cool with it. And YouTube has not been instructed to shut people down if you see MLS content. But sometimes we get some issues where maybe it was like a Fox broadcast for some reason, and they told us your video can't be shown in Canada or in Ireland or something like that. So we had to do the editing ourselves and take out that section. So yeah, for videos it's even worse, right? Because it's much easier to detect. So this is our experience. We're a bit lucky for now, but we're just trying to stretch the line as much as we can. So, for the copyright,
good. No, excellent points. I mean, so do you have any questions for us, or just want to share that?
No. I had questions before that, but I just want to share the copyright claim. Basically,
sure.
It's, my first question, Leticia, I'm going to skip it because maybe I'll let other people talk. But the second question is that we record our show on StreamYard. We do it live on our Facebook private account, private group for our Patreon, and unlisted on YouTube. So we don't have to re-upload it. We do lose the HD streaming on YouTube when people watch it again because you don't live on YouTube and the HD value. But wondering, is there a best practice you guys suggest for social media clipping? you have like a 2-hour show. You want to clip it. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Even you do clipping of your main show to be able to get more traction, more views, more subscribers, more maybe Patreon. Hey, look, this is a cool 1-minute clip on Twitter. You like it? Come on over on Patreon. These are like a best practice processes because we're doing this on our own, right? We can't really afford a producer. Even if we could afford a video producer, maybe it's not worth it. At this point, even if you have the money, maybe it's not worth it. So, is there any best practice you guys suggest, or just just do it?
Well, I would say, when it comes to clipping your content, there's 2 things I would do. If I'm clipping something and I'm about to share some talking points, I would just clip the part where I'm talking about the talking points, but I haven't yet step 1, step 2, step 3. I will cut it off at that part. And so that way people know, I will have somewhere in the copy, hey, if you want to watch the full video, go to this link in the comments and check it out. Another way is we look at the analytics of the show and see where was it that the show was at its highest peak or at its highest engagement, maybe more comments, more people commented at a certain point. So we take that most meatiest part of the show and then clip that and upload it as well. So that's one way that 2 ways that you can sort of cut up your content, and find out what to cut up. Yeah.
I did at the beginning a few months ago a call to action in the video at the end. Let's say on Twitter. Twitter gives you like 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Maximum video unless you have a pro account or business account, I forget. So I do a clip of a minute and a half, and I add like 20-second video. Hey, if you like this clip, go on Patreon. Yeah, and then we have the link also. Would the video still work as a call to action? Because I stopped after a while because I didn't see any changes.
It will still work. You just got to be consistent. And I don't think people go on Twitter to watch videos, do they, Christian? I think it's like text.
Actually, I will say so Twitter has a new feature where if you have a YouTube video. Twitter is rolling out the ability to play those. I think it's iOS only at the moment, but they're rolling out the ability to play your YouTube videos natively in your stream. So then they'll actually dump them off to YouTube. So I mean, here's the thing: I'd put my videos everywhere if I could.
Yeah.
So, well, our fans are very engaged on Twitter. Usually, that's why we succeed a lot on Twitter because we see people come on Patreon and become members, and we're like, okay, this person is obviously coming from Twitter because you're not on a Facebook page, you've never heard of them, and I see a Twitter account. So people are very engaged on Twitter.
I've noticed my Twitter following has gone up as well. Yeah.
So we use that. So the social media clipping, I know you need to be consistent, but I'm never sure because you have to do I do IGTV. That's easy, the same format as a YouTube. You have to do IG posts and reels and stories.
And don't just post that clip one time. Don't just post it on Monday. Oh, nobody looked at it. Maybe you can post it on Wednesday, then again on Thursday, then again on Saturday and Sunday. And increasing posts through the weekend while people are at home is another ideal strategy that you can do. So if you're posting once a week from Monday to Friday, then maybe on Saturday and Sunday, you're doing twice, for Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, because we want to multiply because basically we used to do like a public show, but then you say, you know what, let's do Patreon. Let's have people help us out. We do the same work. Let's try and see to get support. So we're trying to push the whole, basically we're trying to do 2 clips per day in at least per social media platform, basically to try and say, hey, come on over, come help us out, and et cetera, et cetera. So we're trying to mix it up, but it's not always easy. This is a part-time. This is a hobby on the side after a 40-hour work week. So it's not easy. But honestly, StreamYard, people who are not on StreamYard, I really recommend it. I'm not an ambassador. They don't pay me. I wish they did, but no, it's really good. Because I was, I don't know who it was, a famous podcast review guy, Ray Ortega, I think. I used to watch him. He was doing Google videos, right? It used to be Google videos or Google on chat, live on air, whatever it was. Then I saw his YouTube channel. Hey, I can't find the Google live on air thing. Oh, I use StreamYard now. I went on it last summer in the pandemic, and I've been using it since. I don't have the pro one. I have the mid-level account. Honestly, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's it was so good that we had to upgrade our equipment. I get our own webcams, nice, Logitech webcams, nice microphones. Because the StreamYard gives us the tools, but also makes you want to upgrade yourself. And that's really big for us. It's really key. It's really key, and it's a great tool. To be honest, it's like having a studio, but it's amazing. So I'd like to thank you guys again.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, definitely. And do me a favor, send me a private message as well. Send me a link to your stream and just tell me what you stream about, and just send me a link to one of the shows.
My pleasure. It's in French though, so be careful.
That's fine. Doesn't bother me.
I want to learn
Just
French.
tell me what you have. Just tell me what your show's about.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Thank
Kristen.
you.
Thank you, Leticia.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. So you want to bring on RVing with G?
Let's do this. Let me go through a couple of comments real quick here. By the
Okay.
way, sorry, Stefan, I don't know if we cut him off or if he removed himself.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. So, but hopefully we didn't cut him off. Okay. So how do you keep your viewers back on live streamings when you're having tech difficulties? Very good question, actually. So Leticia, you want to take that one?
Well, first you got to figure out why you're having those technical difficulties. If it's sound, then you got to get something to upgrade your sound. If it's the video quality, you got to get something to upgrade your video quality. If it's something that happens like once in a blue moon, because it's not, if you're doing a stream every day, not all 30 days of that month is going to be a perfect stream. But if it's something that's happening consistently, people are not going to come back. If they're seeing it every time they go on your show, they're just not going to come back. So try to fix that issue. And when there are times where, let's say for some reason, the kids kick the router and I get bumped out of my live, before I go and do a part 2, I will put in the comments, hey guys, here's the link. I'm going to be popping on again in about 5 more minutes, just to regroup myself and to get back on the stream. So yeah, try to come up with ways to avoid those difficulties.
And if it happens, here's the other thing. If it happens during your stream, one other thing to remember is if your stream is currently, for example, our stream is going right now. And I think a few minutes ago, or maybe
you got kicked off.
An hour ago, you saw me disappear. Here's the thing. The reason I disappeared was because I actually closed the browser tab, but guess what? The stream still continues.
Yes.
So if you do get kicked off, for example, then what I would do is, I would immediately, like if you've got a producer, for example, or co-host, I would message that person and say for example, Leticia and I keep Facebook Messenger open. So if you can see me over here on my phone, sometimes it's because I'm maybe messaging her something. So that's one thing I would do. Also then make sure for example, if you have a technical glitch, hey, co-host, producer, whatever, thanks. Sorry, I'm having some sort of issue, or hey, I need to restart my computer, and go and do that. Now, what can also happen though is before every stream, what I always tell people to do is restart your computer. So if you've been using your computer a lot during the week, restart that machine, clean out the gunk, and then bring it back in. Next thing, if you got a lot of tabs open and you notice oh, my machine's starting to run slow. Sometimes it's too many things open and not enough RAM.
Yeah.
Sometimes what you'll also have happen is if your machine doesn't have enough video RAM and you're trying to do green screen and things like that, it may be time to get a new machine. Because if you're trying to use some of those features like green screens, you need to have, it's not just the lighting, but you're processing what's behind you. So if you're trying to use a machine that's very low power, it's gonna really stutter and potentially have some challenges. And that's because your webcam is trying to figure out what this is, and then and then our software is also trying to remove it. So the machine is typically where it's kind of running into the bottleneck. That's also where you need to look at your internet. So for example, look at the resolution you're streaming at. So for example, if you're streaming at 1080p and your machine is really, really struggling, lower it down to 720. Find what that sweet spot is, because then that's going to help you diagnose, is it my machine? Is it, is it that I do need to, maybe get a gaming laptop, something like that, a beefier product to use? So you have to look at what you're trying to do. For example, if you're trying to do, green screens and you're using something that has an integrated graphics card, you typically, you need a better graphics card to be able to do that. And so that's where, you kind of need to know what your boundaries are. And then if this happens on your live stream, make sure, as I mentioned, message the person, message your co-host or producer. If it's just you, do what you can to get back into the stream. And then sometimes it just happens. So then you could just go to your platform that you're streaming on. Hey, sorry about that. We have a technical issue. I have to cancel the show or have to change something.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So go ahead.
I want to bring up this question. What do you think about this? Naziria, I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. She said, I just would like to know how to make commercials or inserts, maybe like a playback show for times where I might need to step away for 1 or 2 hours, still streaming guests. I need a bot assistant.
So very interesting. Okay, so you're looking to make commercials or insert maybe like a playback show. Okay, so I would say this. One thing you have to be mindful of are the terms of service on all the platforms. So on Facebook, YouTube, they don't necessarily want you to pre-record a 2-hour video and just put it up as it's a live video. So they don't necessarily want you to do what you're potentially doing.
You got to say it somewhere in there. It's pre-recorded.
If it's a commercial, for example, like I was mentioning earlier, hey, you know, we have, I'll bring this up. For example, we have our live stream success summit coming up. Let's say this was a video. There's no problem dropping in a commercial like that. Like you put it in maybe the video clips or use the share feature and select the video file. But like, and that's a 30-second commercial or maybe a 1-2 minute thing, something like that. But when you start like to looking at like 1 to 2 hours and then trying, like, for example, if I were to bring up a 1 to 2 hour video and not actually be on screen with you all,
people are going to fall off.
Yeah, they're going to fall off. It's also going to make you look bad because they're going to be like, well, hey, that person never engages with me. Well, they may not know that it's because you're not there. So they're sitting there waiting for like help or something like that. So it could damage your brand as well. So I would say not do it. Is my bottom line. Yeah. So if you're in an instance where, let's say you still want to keep your show, that is something where like you can run something like a Facebook premiere or a YouTube premiere, things like that act like a live, but you need to preface up front, hey guys, I'm not going to be available for this week's show. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replay another episode, or I pre-recorded something. So you need to tell people up front, like put the banner on the video when you're making it.
Yeah.
So that way people know what they're getting into versus they think they're watching you live.
That's right. Maybe. That's right.
Cool. So let's bring in our next guest, Leticia.
Yes, RVing with G. Come on down.
Hello, hello. Wow, this is an honor. This is huge. No, I don't need to be big either. But
I want to say thank you for being patient, by the way.
Yes.
Leticia and I were talking, like, if you guys, like, if you're watching, like, do we need to speed things up? Let us know.
Yes.
Because we always want to make sure that we value your time as well. So thank you very much for being patient there.
So as you might see in the pixelation, I've downgraded my camera.
Okay. No problem.
Because I have bad internet. I have really bad internet. But I want to just praise you guys. The platform we have here is incredible, and we are putting it to the test. So Mike, the Adventures of Traveling Mike is in the chat there, and I'm co-host with many other people. We're running a 14-day nonstop live on your platform.
Wow.
Nice.
Goosebumps, right? Yeah. It's at 11 days now. There's over 5,500 watch views on that.
Oh, wow.
And what we would really like to have done or still do is download that. And as you said earlier, the platform isn't really set up for that, but it's got to be saved somewhere. Can we still get access to that?
Good question.
Okay, so walk me through. Okay, so like it's continuous, right? So it wouldn't generate until at the end, I would think.
Right. So it's still being generated, right?
Right.
Okay. And we'd like to pay for whatever level that would be to download that, to save it, because what we want to do is break it all up. But we're putting your system to the test and advertising that we're using it.
So do me a favor. Email marketing. I mean, I say this all the time, but email marketing@streamyard.com. Just tell them like, hey, I was on live stream reviews this week. And then tell me, like, you're basically reiterate exactly the stuff you told me.
Okay. And I've written them and I've gotten comments back that, oh, if you're on the basic plan, you get 4 hours. If you're on this plan, you get 8 hours, and that's it. That's the end of the conversation. They've repeated that twice. And I'm going, I don't think you quite understand what we're doing for you guys here.
Do me a favor. If you email marketing@streamer.com, I know that that's going to go to a different set of people.
Okay, great. I think there's probably support then. Okay.
Yeah, I think you might have got the support side. So just email marketing and we'll work on that.
Okay. But, if there could be a sponsorship just to pay for that level, and that'd be good, because we're going to do this continuously now. What we're doing is for the community is things that are to bring people together, because I started a late night show and the gentleman that's running the live took over after me over the late show. Right.
Yeah.
And so we have a community that people can come together and talk. And we've drawn people out of the darkest holes. And it's just, I don't want to get emotional on it, but it is emotional. We are alive doing a live.
Yeah.
Okay. We're not just doing, it's alive. We are alive because we are keeping people from depression. And we lost the person this last week from depression. It's heavy, man.
Yeah.
And so when we have somebody to talk to at all hours of the day and night, it really, really helps. There's so many people on our channel or our communities, and many different kinds of community. You might tell from my name what community I'm from. But we have all kinds, and that's just it. We want to get the word out. We have this platform you are providing, and if there could be some way that we could keep it going financially, we really would, because people are committing to hours of days and nights, and it's getting really tough to do.
Yeah.
And you guys talked about picture in picture. One of the other things is when we have a lot of people on, they're over talking each other. And is it that really they need to have their own headset and microphone to cut that out? Or is there something more you guys are pursuing or could pursue to maybe mute somebody so that little glitch doesn't happen? Because there's the lag.
Yeah. So here's what I'll do. I'm just making a note of this, by the way.
Yeah.
Just make some notes real quick. So yeah, I'll make a note of that feature. So like you want someone to be able to see if I can. So you want a way to mute people or adjust the audio.
Yeah, that's the next thing is volume.
Yeah.
Because some people come in with a really super loud microphone, and we ask them to turn it down, and they think they do, but it's still just blaring.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I've made a note there.
Yeah. And then just silence somebody when they're talking, or, not necessarily mute them, but just, have that little gap that when we talk, that it doesn't overlap. And it's like somebody can't hear you until you have a half a sentence done,
Yeah.
So there's lag in that. And then, could we get like I don't know, we're doing so much advertising for you guys. I don't want to ask for free right here, but it's like we have 5,500 watch hours on this, and it's just huge. You guys are going to definitely get known.
Yeah, do me a favor.
The power of this thing.
Send that email. Put your request in that email, and then
Okay, man. And hats off to the peeps that are in there chiming in. You got the Adventures of Traveling Mike and several others. We love your platform, mate. We really do. So what we're going to do now from this point on, after we do the 14 days, see, the record was 10. We just did that today. Just this morning, we broke 10.
Cool.
Now we're going for 14 days straight. And you can do the live stream. Oh, I'm a gamer. I game for 2,100 hours. No, we are continuously live, interactive, hosted live stream on your platform.
Awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So now what we're going to do is break it up into 8 hours for your pro level. We'll do 8 hours. And then that will be every 8 hours, we'll do a shift and overlap that to save this from this point on. But right now we're just going for the record. So we won't have this problem in the future. So
cool. Okay.
Again, I think I've had enough time.
That
Appreciate
is
you guys.
amazing.
So just drop me that email in the live chat and I'll copy it.
Sure. Yeah. I'll put it in the private chat here. Yeah.
Private chat. Thank you much.
Awesome.
And again, great platform. I love it.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Anytime.
He's amazing.
Very cool. Okay. So, RVing with Georgie, I made some notes here as well. So I want to thank you for giving us those feature requests. For anyone else who's watching, if you have feature requests as well, I think Michelle has one here about where does she send feature requests. Want to schedule for the record only mode. You can actually schedule the record only mode. So that one actually is not, you don't actually need to really do anything right now. All you do is go into StreamYard. Here, let me actually open up a broadcast.
Yeah.
Do this. So let me
and
see.
the
I'm
I said
you go through
replay.
the comments while I'm doing that.
Yes, and the giveaway's coming up soon, guys. I believe we're gonna give away a pillow today, Christian.
I think we are. Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely type hashtag love StreamYard in the chat. All you gotta do is type it in once and I'll catch it. No worries.
So here's what I'm gonna put in. Let me go ahead and share this real quick. I'll show.
Go right ahead.
I'll show Michelle how to do this real quick. So, okay. So basically, what you're looking to do is, so what I would do is, if I want to schedule a broadcast, so I would like to have a way to set a schedule for the record only mode. So, I think you're asking if you want to have a way to set. I think you're asking for like almost like a template. What I would do is, if I had to schedule a whole bunch of people, I would just do this. I would log in a StreamYard, create new broadcast, skip record. For example, I'm going to just say, like, we'll just call this example 1. I'm going to create my broadcast. I'm going to then go back and I'm going to go and create a second So there's example 1. And then I would create the same thing, example 2. That's what I would do, because then because the thing is, like, the record only feature, like, there's no, like, I'm not scheduling anything per se. Like, I'm setting it up so that I have the link to then be able to send it to somebody. So it's going to always be there. So for example, there's no scheduling option for it because it's an open invite, meaning you go use it whenever you want. So if I'm like, hey, Leticia, let's have you join, example 2, I just copy the invite link and send that to her. And then I can schedule it in my calendar and do that sort of thing. So I'll make the note though about like being able to schedule a recorded only session. So Leticia, while I'm doing that, feel free to bring on our next guest.
All right. So we got Mr. Anthony Brown. Come on down.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
Good. How you doing?
I am absolutely amazing. Well, I try to be anyway.
Yeah.
Amen.
So Bethune-Cookman College, I think in Florida, right?
Yes.
Florida.
Yes. Very cool.
Even though I'm in Cleveland, Ohio, that's my alma mater. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Very cool. So tell us. Okay. So you're Anthony Brown. What do you stream about? What questions do you have?
Good question. So I guess like the pastors and most people earlier. So I do a StreamYard broadcast, and I do a historically Black College University information session. So every Wednesday, because we started off on other platforms, and I kind of migrated over to StreamYard to kind of reach a larger audience. I'm in this one Facebook group called HBCU Alumni United. It has over 86,000 alumni.
Wow.
And so I wanted to be able to engage this alumni group, with the importance of just educating them about other historically Black colleges, as well as being a support and advocate to recruit, to fundraise for these institutions. So every Wednesday, we bring on administration or faculty, staff, alumni from the various schools, and we like to highlight. We'll show their video, like they got an informational video, things of that nature. And then we also do a fundraiser platform. So we actually use Facebook use a Facebook fundraiser opportunity, kind of like a telethon of sorts, and we kind of raise money, Monday to Monday, raising money for the school and things of that nature. That's why I had this backdrop, because I did something for my alma mater, but then I also have a different setup. And then I have another green screen that way. I have a living room set platform, set up that way. So I got 3 different podcast sets in my house. But my question or feature request would be, one is to is there a way, a possible? I know sometimes we can see the analytics, we can see the live, and up in the top corner, we can see how many people are watching at the moment. Okay. But is there any way possible? And I think I asked this question a couple of weeks ago. I think I've been watching you almost like every Saturday.
Awesome. I love hearing that. So thank you.
Thank you.
When I get the alert, I'm like, let me go see what I can learn this week. So just wondering if there's any way we can see analytics of how we can see the viewership or replayership of a video from, like, if I go from here to my to that YouTube page, to my YouTube, to that private page, to a public page, to my LinkedIn, how can I see it in one space? To see the analytics? Like, I know, like, when because what we do is, like, we do a pre-show on Tuesday on Clubhouse to kind of advertise the Wednesday show. And then on Wednesday, we do the live show. On Thursday, we download this and upload to our Anchor account to go to all the podcasting on Thursday on for the rest of the week. So I know in Anchor, you can look in one place and you can see all the analytics from all the different streaming sites.
Okay.
Is that something possible here?
So I know we get tons of requests for the analytics. So it's something that I know that we've put on our roadmap to be able to provide more analytics. At the moment, it's what you see there in the broadcast and then going over to the platform to get the individual analytics. But I know that's something that's come up quite a lot. I think Gage has covered it on a few town halls as well, that, like, people want the analytics. So I think it's something we're working on. Okay. Yes. So,
and I also want to share, just to the viewing audience again, I love what the other gentleman said. Like, listen, y'all can say what you want. You just, because I opened, you said it earlier, Christian. I opened because I was able to partner with a music producer. And so I actually opened with a music video that he gave me the rights to play. So I open and I close show them that. So after I do the 30-second countdown, I have a static screen, and then boom, I go right into the music video. And then, towards the end, I could give my closing thoughts. Then I put a music video again, and I got the exclusive. He gave me the rights to use it. I had to just kind of show proof to that to YouTube one time, and ever since then, I got no pushback. Once I had to prove it, they're like, "Okay, you're good."
Yeah, you're fine. Yep.
Then I was fine with it that way, because I was doing the DJing and all that, and I kept getting flagged, like, "Oh, this is becoming a problem, and we don't need that problem." Yep. So we stopped doing that. Someone else mentioned this idea of. I love the idea of I take that same after we get the invite, after we kind of create the StreamYard. Once we kind of create the link, I create a calendar invite. This is maybe just some tidbits for people. So I create a calendar invite. So I take that information, I drop it all in. There's like a PDF. I think the StreamYard provides us with some other information. I take some of the most important points. I put it all in the calendar invite saying this is everything you need to know. Here's the StreamYard link. Here's the link if you want to watch on YouTube. Here's the link if you want to watch on Facebook. This is what you share. This is for you. This is what you share. Yeah. This is how you need to set up your camera. So they don't even come in here with that okie doke.
Yeah. In your car with the seatbelt on.
Right. So I tell him, I had a guy who came on this past week, and he actually had you read the instructions. He said, yeah, you said I could only do virtual if I have a green screen. Correct. Mm-hmm. So he knew that up front in advance. So I think just having those, and like I said earlier, someone said they come in, I go live at 8:30. They come on by 8 o'clock. By 8 o'clock, I'm in the stream. To kind of make sure we're doing all the audio visual checks, make sure there's any questions, that type of thing. So people can kind of know, and it's very helpful. And then we also provide them with what I call a run of show, because in my other background, I work in TV radio. So give them that quick run of show, just a Google spreadsheet of some sort, so they can kind of know at 8:30 this is what's happening, at 8:45 this is what's happening, 8:50 so on and so forth. So we may vary, but for the most part, it's there. Something else I learned, and you might be able to, just something else to share with your viewers is. I also have an account with PSA Central with the Ad Council. Okay. And you're able to, provide, if you can justify your organization, if you're nonprofit or things of that nature, and you tell them why you want to use some of these PSAs, and they're very professional commercials. You can download 30 seconds or 60-second commercials. And sometimes I use those commercials as transitions. Okay. So I'm like, we'll be right back right after this. Go to a break, show a commercial. Welcome back to the show. That's like somebody else, I got the soundtracks up in here. So I'm going to throw in the laughter. I'm going to throw in the claps.
That's a really good point, actually. So the point about, for example, people ask for transitions. I've got it noted as a feature request, but in the meantime, if you want to do something like that, it's to your point, it's, for example, going and working with someone to get an ad that you could put in, for example, or a commercial, or in some cases, it could just be, like, for example, if I wanted to do a transition from Anthony to our next guest, Matthew, I could throw up the overlay for the upcoming event and be like, hey guys, for those of you who want to join the live stream success summit that we're putting on, it's April 15th. Just go to, what is it? StreamYard.com/ I think it's SY Summit, I think. And so, StreamYard.com/SY Summit and sign up, for example. So,
and I will say, we also do, just to your point, so again, that group of 86,000. We got a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of businesses. And so what they've actually come and say, well, Anthony, we'll give a donation to your fundraiser if you would do a promo for us.
Yep, do a sponsorship.
Sure. So now I create those partnerships where, like, for example, this sweatshirt I'm wearing now, hey, you send me the sweatshirt, I'll wear it, I'll do a promo, whether I'm doing a live mention or I'll pre-record it and I already have it in the queue.
That's right.
Boom. Exactly. So I'll be right back. And then the next year you see me, you're like, how did he change clothes? Well, no, that's a commercial. And I'm doing this quick promo, boom, then we're back to the show. I'll play for a couple weeks and then I move on to somebody else.
Yeah.
No, excellent points. I mean, and that's the key thing. Like, it's part of it is, so first off, I'm going to tell you the same thing I've told a few other people. Do me a favor, send me a private message so we can chat more. Yes. And then the other thing is, like, it's about experimenting. It's about testing. So for example, you know, to your point there, like you didn't wait for a feature to get added, for example, you came up with a creative solution to do that.
Yes.
You know, and so for example, like it's sort of thinking outside the box, like doing some of those things to how do I enhance my live show? For example, if you want to get, you know, for example, you want to get sponsorships for your live streams, you know, that's a whole nother thing. I know at some point we'll make sure we cover that. But if you want to get sponsorships, sometimes it's just going and asking people, like,
That's
and they're, you know, and going to your point, like, you know what, hey, like, yeah, we'd like to, they might want to sponsor you. And for example, it just might be like, hey, you know what, we want you to wear our t-shirt or our sweatshirt or things like that, you know, and it's just being transparent to your community. Hey, you know, shout out to so-and-so for sponsoring whatever the episode was.
Right. So I would love to wear a StreamYard shirt. I just throw it out there. Let me just say it out there. I would love to wear a StreamYard shirt and show y'all some love real quick.
Yep. Exactly. So, but it's asking those, it's taking the time, just ask the questions. Don't just like a lot of people think, I think a lot of people feel like they have to get really big to be able to start asking people. No, just start asking other people as well. Ask, you know, maybe it's not your top tier people, but maybe you go down to some of the, like the lower to the mid tier types of companies, just ask them. And for the most part, for most of them, they probably will just be like, yeah, sure. So, you know, but if you never ask, you never know.
That's right.
And I would say also too, something else I learned from, you know, just by working is, you know, for some people, you can always be I find now I have a producer engineer. So while I'm hosting, I got moderators and I got an engineer. They're running the chat. So they're dropping the links. They're running the chat. I'm just talking. You know,
exactly.
I'll say we'll be right back right after this. They know, okay, commercial. They already know in the queue, commercial 1, commercial 2, so on and so forth. It just helps to have that small team, 1 or 2 people to be able to do that. I just wanted to kind of share that because, you know, we're all learning. To do nothing is wrong.
Yep, that's right.
So I love the fact that we are just all learning and sharing and growing. I even now, sometimes I'll just use my platform and say, yeah, you can sublease me out and I'll come run your show and I'll change your backdrop. I'll change my banner. You can hire me and I'll just run it for you.
Exactly. Yeah.
And if, for example, you know, if you're somebody who wants, like, I'll talk from a live stream producer standpoint. If you want to get into doing live stream production, you know, sometimes it's volunteering to help other people to help build up your resume to where then you can go after some of the big jobs. Don't, you know, here's the thing. Don't go to the big company and be like, oh yeah, I can do your production. And then if you don't have the experience on it at all, like you basically do a lot more damage, you know, by doing that. So if you don't have because you're overselling yourself, but if you're somebody like, hey, you know what, I do want to get into this, you know, it's like, for example, if I go to college and I want to go get a job somewhere, I do an internship, for example. You know, I start to like see, well, what kind of company is this that I'm working, you know, I would be working with. Like, you may have this one view of what things are, and then you actually start doing it. You realize, oh, it's actually not the same thing.
Exactly.
So, you know, don't be afraid. For example, if you want to get into live stream production, ask people, you know, hey, can I help you with your streams? Because then that's going to give you some additional credibility and help you also networking.
That's right.
So,
that's very true.
And speaking of networking, I'm going to get out your way because you all are doing a phenomenal job. Like I said, but I've been watching the chat. Like, again, in my world, I'm like, wait, in the chat. So I want to make sure I shout out Jewel and Charles and a few other folks who are like, hey, Anthony, call me or hit me. So I got to go follow up on some chats. You know, they're like, drop your link, drop your show. I'm coming, y'all. But I'm also going to, you know, direct message both of you all so we can continue the conversation.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And all that great stuff. So, but thank you so very much. You all have an absolutely amazing day.
You too.
Thanks.
Yep.
Awesome. I love that. I got to say, I mean, I love hearing from everyone and just hearing like, you know, their story. Like, one thing I'm noticing is everybody's using a run of show. You know, they've got a run of show of how they run the stream. They're starting to encourage people to like bring on, for example, a producer, you know, to help them. And then on the other side, you know, they have a script essentially, or a template that they send out to each of their guests on what to do. And it's things like camera positioning. Like, for example, if you want to show people, like, if you notice, like, as you do a live stream and you start to notice, like, well, for example, let's say somebody, you know, you probably have all seen this. You've got people that are looking down at their camera because their webcam, for example, is down here.
It's
and I'm
low.
pointing down, for example,
Yeah.
you're down here, versus having their camera up here,
Face
take
to
a
face,
screenshot, for example. So set up a laptop, have yourself in there and be talking like this, but make sure it's showing that angle, and then put that in your document, and then say, put in a big X over it or something like that. And then second one would be like, this is actually what it should be, and this is where like you're looking directly into the camera, and maybe give them some tips. For example, hey, when you're going to come on, make sure you raise your laptop up to a certain level. For example, you talk about like how to put if they're wearing a microphone, for example, talk about like where they might want to position a microphone or using a headset or things like that. So
be
encourage them
as possible.
We've got a lot of great questions, by the way. Peter has a feature request here. If there's any way to have fly-in picture-in-picture still on screen. So the other picture-in-picture stuff we do have like the ability to change these kinds of views. I don't know exactly if that's what you're looking for. We don't have picture-in-picture, meaning like putting Leticia in the corner, for example, or the top or the bottom or the left and whatnot. That's, for example, I'm accomplishing that with a switcher because it's built into the switcher software. So for example, I can just turn this on and you'll see like, here's my picture-in-picture, but that's a switcher. For example, I can note it as a feature request, but one thing to also remember, not pushing you to get hardware, but you buy a piece of hardware, the hardware can handle certain things.
Yeah.
So for example, $300 switcher allows me to add multiple cameras, but it also allows me to do picture-in-picture. So I'm able to enhance certain things on my broadcast, or I want to do camera transitions, for example. I can easily do that, but I'll make a note of your feature request as well. So
that's right.
Let me see if there's any other comments to bring in here. We've got a couple. We're almost we're gonna do the giveaway here shortly.
Yes. I see here the creative lady.
Good one.
She
okay,
asked, she said, please explain how producing shows for others work. Do you give them your StreamYard password? Thanks.
Okay, so the way this works, this is a great question actually. So the way that it works is, for example, let's say I want to, like, I'll use this show as an example. I want to have Leticia moderate the show while I'm also co-hosting with her. So what we do is I log in to the account. And then, for example, in her case, she logs in with the email address that we used, and it triggers a 6-digit code that I then get notified about. And I'm like, hey, Leticia, here's the code. So when I send her that code, she's able to log into my stream at the same time as I am. And then we have the same level of access. So for example, she brought up that comment just a second ago. So then behind the scenes, we could have basically, a bit of a, we've had a meeting, a pre-production meeting where we talked about, hey, Leticia, I'm going to have you moderate the comments.
Yeah.
While I, for example, might be, doing other things behind the scenes. So for example, I'm making notes of feature requests while she's moderating comments.
Yeah.
And you'll notice also, by the way, that what this also kind of works is you'll hear me at certain points. I'm like, hey, Leticia, we've got a great question from, let me see. We've got a great comment from NLTMW here, for example. And so then I can let her easily bring that up. So I'm prompting her on that. Does that make sense? So it's almost like it's a cue I'm giving her, that it's a cue to help her kind of know where I'm at.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but yeah, hope that
great
helps.
Question. Great question.
And then, and also I want to highlight this other question, by the way, 2 comments actually. First off, I actually got 3 real quick. And Matthew, we're going to bring you on here in 2 seconds. I promise. I want to thank you so much for being patient, by the way. For NLTMW, always providing value. I love all this. Always. I do picture-in-picture using XSplit or OBS, but the ATM Mini is easier to set up. Yeah. So you can use XSplit. You can use OBS as well. But those are they're software based. So then you need to make sure your machine can support it, versus what I'm doing is I'm offloading that responsibility to the ATM Mini to do that. So that's question number 1. And then the other comment I want to bring up from sorry, I just saw Charles's comment. I'm wondering if that's what Leticia's actually laughing. Okay. So Charles is also saying automated way to send show info is Gmail scheduling 2 days before the interview. Mic sound and info sent out. Absolutely. I also, like I said, I also use like you've got Calendly, you've got Harmonizely. They're basically you can set up different calendars for things. And so the way they work is like for example, let's say you're doing a show and let's say it's every week at 3 p.m. So inside of these calendar tools, you can set up essentially a calendar that is just for your show. And so then within that, there's a process. So like somebody goes to that page, they fill out their information, for example, in that calendar event. And then like you can build on it. It can be, oh, hey, here's how you sign up for the show. Now, second phase might be when somebody signs up, here are some questions that we want them to answer so that we get the show info. And that can go into your calendar invite on Google Calendar, things like that. So it makes it a lot easier to get the information, and it makes it a lot easier for your guests to have the right information as well. So in that, there could always be the link to a Google Drive doc that has all of the, like, you know, the ththings you want your guests to do and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
absolutely.
And
Streamline it.
By the way, the other thing also is I'm going to bring up Charles's comment. So Leticia does all the work. Not necessarily. Actually, we got a lot going on. We got quite a lot going on. So
funny.
Let's see. So I want to answer 3 questions here. Emissions, TK Live. Jess says, can I play a video as my background? Not natively. So you need to use something like a virtual camera to bring something like that in. So you could use like OBS. There's things like that as well. So there, you could put the video, you bring the video feed from there into your StreamYard broadcast. That's one way a lot of people do it.
Jim has a good question.
I got one question from Albert here real quick as well. So how's the StreamYard code different than the code you give the guest? 2 totally different things, actually.
It's way different.
So StreamYard link that I give a guest is, so let's talk about like this. If I log in, I put my email address in, it kicks off a code to the owner of the account to give them the 6-digit code, and it lasts for like, I think 15 minutes. Then it's literally a 6-digit code. I send it over to Leticia via whatever messaging platform I want to. And then, so basically it's almost like confirming, hey, Christian, you invited somebody to your stream. If I happen to know they did, I give it over to Leticia, for example, or whoever that person is. That's different from the guest invite, because the guest invite is inside your broadcast, is at the bottom where it says invite. And that's where I get that. And that will allow people to come into the backstage area to bring on screen.
Yes.
Does that make sense? So the code gives somebody essentially admin access to your account. So make sure you share it with only people you trust. And then the invite link is to let a guest come into the broadcast only. They don't get access to any of the features within your dashboard.
Yeah.
Okay. And then let's answer Jim's question real quick. How about an easy way to promote the show across social platforms or even multiple Facebook pages? Okay. So if you want to promote the show across multiple social platforms, I mean, for the most part, I would recommend, I always have a scheduling tool. So like I use Agora Pulse for my scheduling. And so there's Agora Pulse. There's, if you're into Twitter, there's TweetDeck. If you're on Facebook, there's Facebook Creator Studio. That also has Instagram Creator Studio as well. And you can actually schedule your streams across those platforms. Now, the benefit there, if you don't want to pay for it, that's where I'd use the native ones on Facebook. So Facebook Creator Studio, TweetDeck.com. Let me think there's anything else. YouTube, for example, your broadcast goes out to YouTube. That's going to be that's the easiest way to do it. But if you do pay for a tool, you get access to one dashboard where if I'm scheduling it, I can type out the message. I can then select which platforms I want to, and I can customize that. That's all done on the social media dashboard tool.
Yeah.
So Emission TKL Live, do me a favor. I'm going to send you my private, or I guess it's not private anymore, but Emission, send me a PM, and what I'll do is I'll work on helping you with that.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So Matthew, you're up in the hot seat.
In the hot seat.
Okay. So we're going to bring Matthew on. Matthew, thanks a lot for joining us, for being patient, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you. My issue was when we first started on social media, visually it was fine. I could type everything, but then audio, as you can tell, I have a minor speech impediment that I was born with. Okay. And it led me to a lot of trepidation to go on to social media to share our knowledge with people across America. Our topic is the landlord advocates, and we, by virtue of the name, we work to help landlords with issues that they have with tenants. And as of now in America, with the situations with the eviction moratoriums, we are a hot channel right now on YouTube. April 11th will be 1 year that we started on social media. We have 52 videos up. We have 640 subscribers, and we have over 18,000 views of our videos. We've done 2 social media Facebook Live events. The first one, we only had about maybe 4 or 5 people. That was on a Sunday. The second one that we did was during the week at nighttime, and we had about 25. Well, now since finding StreamYard, we are looking to broadcast on about 8 or 9 different platforms at the same time.
Okay.
And there's going to be a lot of people that are going to not subscribe, but watch, hopefully subscribe, but watch, ask a lot of questions. And my concern is that I don't want to miss any question. I don't want to offend anybody if I don't answer that question, if we don't get to it. I also want to make sure that we don't, with the add-ons at the tickers at the bottom and all of that, we want to make sure that everything runs as smooth as we can.
Yeah.
We just got a new Ethernet cable. We just got a new router system for the house and a new modem. Our home is 3,500 square feet, so it covers a lot of area. So we were worried about being thrown off or frozen in the screen. That's been taken care of. But I think my concern is, what do I do when we have people who ask questions and we just can't get to them? Like I said, I don't want to offend them, but what do we do in that case? What suggestions do you have?
Very good question. Leticia, I'm going to turn this one to you first.
Okay, so the question was, you don't want to miss the comments? You don't want to miss answering questions?
Yeah, I don't want to offend people, because when they ask a question or they have a comment, I don't want to, end up saying, okay, everybody have a great night, see you next time, and have them feel isolated and alienated. So what do you say to them? Sorry, we can't get to all your questions at this time. The last one we did was almost 3 hours, as we have done here today.
Yeah.
And so I'm getting Leticia, I'm worried about that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you should. I mean, if you let everybody know that, next time that's going to be at the top of your conversation on the next show, that you're going to get to answering those questions, it will keep them coming back. And a lot of times people know automatically. They'll just put their question in there, and you can go back. Can you go back and answer it in the comments, like on the replay?
Can we? We can do that, yes.
Yeah, you could probably go back and do that as well. Or that could be another initiative for you to invite people either to your email list or to your group, where you can probably do a pop-up and check in live, and you can start to go through the questions, the common questions that you've gotten on your show. So try to be creative with that. And again, I think people automatically know that if you can't get to their questions, they can understand. But if you go back to the replay, like I still answer questions on even live shows that I did last week. You know what I'm saying? So you just don't want to stream and then walk away. You want to stream and go back and re-engage with the people who took the time out to either watch the replay or while you was on the live, ask questions.
One of the things I want to mention when you talk about doing watching them later on, at my office, I will watch the 2 of you in my own personal office suite. Which I will watch you, and I enjoy it. Some of the things that happens, though, is that you'll have guests that will come on, and their microphone is so loud that I constantly have to turn the television down.
Yeah.
Now, even though I own the company and my staff works for me and all of that, I still don't want to encroach upon their productivity and working.
Yeah.
So sometimes I find, and I don't want to do this, I find that I have to stop watching, because I can't have somebody who is talking very, very low. And then the next person is so loud that I got to turn it.
Yeah, I get that.
Is there something go ahead.
You probably can't wear Bluetooth headphones, can you? No, right? No,
I could. I'm the only one in my particular office. I could, but I also have to listen for if my assistant has to call me and the intercom ask a question or something like that. So
yeah, I mean, honestly, and Christian, if you help me, like, I don't think there's any way to avoid that, because I get what you're saying. Sometimes I could be watching somebody's show and the sound is great, and all of a sudden a guest will come on, their pitch is very loud, so I'll turn down the volume on my phone. But I don't think there's any way you can avoid that other than wearing headphones or Bluetooth earbuds, right, Christian?
Yeah, Yeah, I think that would probably be the best. And let me I got a couple of comments by there from people as well. We got people, by the way, as far as like answering comments. Andrew saying, typically reads comments. So like almost like when you build a show, sort of set some time to answer them.
Yeah.
So like typically reading comments, answering questions towards the end of the stream. The other thing, Joel also mentions about having moderators to help address some of that. I don't know if
That's true. I see a lot of people do that.
And then
We're no too small for that right now on channel, not on channel, but going on StreamYard. This is our first time going to be doing it. So we don't know what we're going to expect. I expect we're going to get a lot of people who are going to ask a lot of questions because on the different social media platforms that I'm already on, I am consistently answering questions. At 4 o'clock in the morning, I can be on my phone and I can have 30 messages on Facebook asking questions at 4 a.m.
So I'll also say this. So like one of the, and I don't know if this is possible for you, but I mentioned Agora Pulse a minute ago, for example, and here's the way I tend to use this. So for example, it's great for scheduling content, but I can also answer content. So here's a couple of things. I can answer them directly from the Agora Pulse dashboard. So I don't even have to, so you know how you get them on like your phone, for example, or your desktop or whatever. You don't even have to have any of that stuff on. You connect it, and then Agora Pulse, you can pull all of those comments into your Agora Pulse platform. So that's the first thing. Second thing is there's a feature in there for saved replies. So for example, if you get the same question over and over and over, instead of typing out all those answers, create some saved replies. That's the next thing I do.
I love that.
And so save replies to be super helpful. The other thing also, this goes back to the point we talked about earlier, Leticia. We talked about repurposing your content. So, but I want to put it in this perspective. So you're doing a live stream and you get tons of questions and comments from people. So you can answer, maybe set aside 10 minutes of your show or 15, however you want to do it, or you can do them throughout as we're doing here. And then what I would consider doing is you could then turn those into other content, i.e. somebody asks a question and then it can become another piece of content you create. I'll give you an example. So let me actually pull this up. So over this past week, we launched a new StreamYard show called Ask StreamYard. And here's the thing. It's literally a question that we got from our Facebook community. So for example, it was this, when is the best time to live stream? Okay. And so I'm going to actually share this. So like, I'll explain this whole process. Hopefully this should make sense. Okay. So basically we have questions that come up in our Facebook community, right? All the time. And so we don't always get a chance we do our best to go back and answer them. Right. However, we don't always get the time to do that. So we started this show called Ask StreamYard, where basically we feature a question during the show. And I'm going to actually show you this. So basically, let me find it real quick. I think it's, let's see, not there. Let me find the comment real quick. There we go. So here's what we did. We asked our community, they had a question. For example, this person, Jennifer Moss, had a question about when's the best time to get max watchers on a live stream. So I may take the time to respond to her in the Facebook community, but I also asked her and I said, hey, this is a really good question. Like I said, okay, this is a good question I think our community would like. I then turned it into a live stream. Does that make sense? Like a show?
Absolutely does.
So I wouldn't.
We've done that on our YouTube channel where people will ask questions on social media and then we will turn around and turn that into a topic and create a video for our, and we share that when we share our YouTube channel, we share that across Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn. Now that leads me to another question. I noticed that on StreamYard, we can show me a broadcast for later on. We're going to have a show tomorrow at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
When we broadcast it and share that to our platforms, is there anything that we have to do other than go live at that time with YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook? Is there anything more that we have to do to make sure that those other platforms are actually watching our video at the same time?
Go ahead, Leticia.
If you're going to do on YouTube, like if you're going to also stream on YouTube, just like Christian mentioned early on, you want to make sure you go in and you optimize that video, and by adding in the tags, the hashtags, what playlist you want it under, so people could binge watch your content. So that's one thing you could do as far as YouTube once you schedule, which is what I do every time I schedule my lives. I go live on Facebook, YouTube, and a couple of other places. And I always go back to my YouTube channel and optimize that live before I actually go live.
And then that way there, when we hit live, that we're going live, we don't have to say, okay, are they actually able to watch it on YouTube? Do we not hit like a special button to make sure that they're watching it? Or is it just something automatic?
Automatic. Yeah, it's automatic.
So we have destination, broadcast destination, and we already have YouTube and there are many platforms here and there.
Yep.
And we go live. There's nothing that we have to do on YouTube or LinkedIn or anything else that will make sure that they are actually watching it. Am I right?
Once you hit the go live button, people can click it and watch immediately.
Right.
And another thing, while you're on the live, even though you're simulcasting, it's like you still got to remind people to follow you. So I'll tell people, hey, hit the follow button, hit the like button, share this out. You got to tell them what to do to expand your content. So also get the people who are watching, get them to, be able to share, subscribe, so that way they get notified every time you go live.
But that's what we did. We did a little one at my home here, and I made pretend that I was going to enter into a live show, and we have a ticker at the bottom that actually has that on there. I think we just have to take that leap of faith.
You got to say it. You got to you got to actually say it. They'll read it, but actually say it to it.
Yeah. So I want to add a couple points. So so for example, let's see. So NLTMW, Adams Exploits, they both make similar comments about having moderators. If you can, you'll need at least one moderator for each platform, probably as well, unless you have a co-host and producer. So you kind of want to maybe scale it. So just think about it and consider scaling it. So that's something to kind of think about. The other thing also, as far as okay, so to Leticia's point, if you're doing a live stream, you want to make sure you're constantly you're telling people, but it doesn't need to be sort of obnoxiously telling them.
No, not obnoxiously. No, but if it's getting to I go by the numbers. So if I'm going from 5, all of a sudden I jump to 30, I'm gonna tell those people, hey, share, comment, make sure you like it, subscribe. Yeah. So you got to play around with it.
The other thing also, so as far as going live on a platform, you don't have to do anything extra. Well, sorry, maybe I should say. On YouTube, you should do something extra. And that extra is when you schedule your live stream via your StreamYard dashboard, it creates that broadcast on YouTube. However, you want to then go in and edit every single live stream and add the title, what the show is about, the description, what the show is about, the tags related to what you're trying to optimize the video for. That's the easiest way. And remember, if you can schedule your YouTube lives well in advance. Schedule them, optimize them, and then that's going to help surface your content, and it'll help you bring in people to actually spend some time to watch. Now, as far as the part about answering comments and things like that, here's the thing: you have to remember, as much as you want to get to every one of them, you physically can't. Because
that's a question.
Don't be so hard on yourself.
Yeah, don't be hard on yourself. A lot of it's a lot of work to do that.
It is.
Like you said, you'll be up at 4 a.m. answering questions, comments, things like that. So
and that's what it is, and I'm so pleased that people are relying on us to help them. We've had clients who have called us. We've had people on social media who have contemplated suicide because of these moratoriums. I personally have a tenant that owes me over $10,000 in rent. And some of our landlords are in despair. And I want to make sure that one person, I bring them back from that brink. And one other thing I want to ask, when we are already broadcasting on all of these platforms, if somebody posts a question on Facebook or on YouTube or on LinkedIn, will that automatically come to the live stream on StreamYard so I can answer that?
Yes. So provided you schedule it to those destinations. So for example, here right now, when we scheduled to the StreamYard Facebook page. We scheduled to what do we got? StreamYard Facebook page. We've got YouTube channel, for example, I think I'm going out to my LinkedIn channel, things like that, right? And so when they are set up that way, they then will come into my dashboard, and then I can choose. There's an option at the bottom. Have you seen? You've seen the option when you're commenting, right? Or no?
With me?
Yeah.
I have not done a live stream yet with StreamYard.
Oh, okay.
Only on Facebook. Only on Facebook on my own page.
Okay. So let me here. I'll show you this. You guys
let's show 'em.
You'll see the infinite scroll here.
This was very helpful. Thank you so much.
Anytime.
Thank you.
Let me find this. Okay, so let's just do this. Okay, so here's actually what's it pulling up? Sorry, it keeps pulling up my YouTube channel. You know what? I'm going to show you two things first, actually. The first one is going to, actually, we're going to do two shares here. So the first thing I want to show you, for example, this is the StreamYard YouTube channel. So one thing I want to show here is when you create this account, there's going to be a customize option on your account. It'll say customize channel. There'll be a button that'll appear right about here. And so what that's going to do is it's going to allow you to add essentially these shelves. So for example, we've got upcoming live streams, live now streams, and then we've got product updates and so forth. So just something to keep in mind. So if you are going to be broadcasting, scheduling a live stream, for example, and it's pushing it to YouTube, you'll want to go in and customize this part. There's a button. It'll say add, customize the channel, and then you'll be able to add essentially playlists. So for example, it'll show your upcoming live streams. It'll show, in this case, we've got product updates. We've got the town hall and whatnot. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes. So I can add in, so I can customize and actually have a video that they can see that I've already done on YouTube, and they can watch that if they want. At the same time, they're going to learn about, we have a live stream coming up in a week, but at the same time, they can click on a YouTube video that was previously produced. Is that what you're saying, Christian?
Well, so what I'm saying is it allows you to, when you schedule your stream in StreamYard, it puts it on your YouTube channel, but people don't necessarily know about it.
Yeah.
And so you need to add that shelf.
I'll do that.
Because the shelf will show upcoming live streams. So if you schedule like 10 live streams in advance, it'll show all 10 of them, for example, or 5 or whatever you add.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to show you was also this within StreamYard. So let me open this. Okay. So, and Leticia, feel free to bring up some comments if there are any comments.
Yes.
So within StreamYard, and let me actually go into a past broadcast so you can see this.
Leticia, I just want to tell you, it was really funny. When RV mentioned that they were going 14 days straight, your eyes almost popped out of your head. It was so funny. I like that.
That's a long time, I tell you. But go for it. If you can do it, go for it.
So here's the comments feature I want to tell you. So like, as you can see, this broadcast is a past broadcast, was broadcast to Facebook and YouTube. And so let's see if there's any comments from YouTube. So basically what would happen is they would all show up in here. You're going to see the ones that say Facebook user, because that user has to authenticate with the platform. There's a link they have to click on. But basically all the comments that you would get there would show up in here, and you can moderate them, bring them on screen and that sort of thing, for example, like that. Now,
I love that feature. If
you want to comment out to somebody, here's the thing. So if I click on this all button and I can comment out to like the Facebook one or the YouTube, for example, if I want to just comment to YouTube, I could just do that. Or if I want to push it out to everyone, I just say all destinations.
Just to maximize it.
Yes. And I forget about that feature all the time. I would be like, okay, let me go back and put the link, and I have to remember I could just put it right in there. Yes.
I just have to realize that I may make a mistake or two, but I realize that we're fallible.
Just learn from it.
And I will. I'm really excited about it. I just have to take the leap. And we've got the equipment. I've been doing this for almost a year now. And so I'm just going to take the leap. And, who knows? Maybe we'll have 102 people watching at the same time. Who knows?
You're doing something where you're going to have a huge movement. Like how many, it's probably hundreds of thousands of landlords that are going through, huge issues. And, at the end of the day, they're always looking like the bad guy. You know what I mean? It's sort of like, it's kind of hard. You don't want to kick people out because they're not paying or fulfilling their obligations, but then, you know, you also have to make a living as well. So, you know, you're going to, I could see a huge movement that you're going to start, you know, just for landlords. So like you're on their side, you know, which doesn't happen often.
My parent business, we've been in business, may have been 30 years. We've been in the industry. I personally, our company has over 1,300 clients. So it was just a natural what's what I'm looking for? From going from just waiting on clients in the office to now going all over social media. I know that from YouTube analytics, we're doing very well. For only 52 videos to over 18,000 views. This is not a gaming channel on Fortnite. It's not a gaming channel on Minecraft. This is a niche for landlords.
That's right.
And I keep remembering this when I see a Fortnite video that has 1 million views in 2 days. I'm like, this is a video game promotion. And we are talking about people who are losing their homes because tenants are not paying rent or they're being destroyed. And I kind of keep reminding myself that, and it's working.
You know, Fortnite is different. You got an industry where the consumers are children, and then you got one that's adult. So obviously those are two totally separate spectrums. So if I were you, I would double down and capitalize on you know, dominating that niche for landlords. You are the go-to person for landlords who either struggling with their investment properties, struggling with renters, you know, struggling with flipping, you know, dominate in that lane. Yeah.
And we really are. And that's, you know, we are in our area, we're in the capital region of New York State, and we are the go-to. You know, we are referred to by different government agencies, even though they're not supposed to do it. They do it.
You know how it is out here in New York. Everything's in favor of the tenant, not the landlord. So you got to, you know, really build that popularity in New York State itself, and then expand from there.
Leticia, I love you for saying that, because it really is. New York and California are so
the struggle.
It came out in 2019. I won't get into all of it because I can monopolize the show for the next 5 hours, so I won't. But there are so many out there, and there's new laws that are forthcoming so fast that many people aren't aware of. And my team has over 100 years of experience, and we analyze these laws, and we just did one yesterday that has got so many views, and it isn't even a day old. And it's regarding the CDC order that you can't evict. We just did one there, and it's what, 320 or 330 comment views already. So we're on the forefront. It takes a lot of effort and a lot of work.
Yeah.
But we enjoy doing it because, as you both know.
Don't assume that people know the laws already, because they don't. You know, Dr. Brian said it true. New York is brutal on landlords. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, don't assume like when the laws come out, everybody gonna know about it, because no, they're not. You know, they're trying to focus on going back to renter's court for the 6th time after the judge gave that renter 4-month extension. So they're focusing on that. They're not even focusing on, wow, there's a new law that just came out that I need to make sure I speak to somebody on so I can, you know, get this person out faster. So, you know, you should definitely go in it as the building up that awareness, building up that community as well.
We have clients that will call us, literally clients who may not have had to do anything in the last couple of years. And a lot of these major laws came out in April of 2019 and June of 2019. And some of them are completely unaware.
They're focusing on not getting sick during that time.
They also don't know all of the intricacies. And we let them know, especially now when you don't follow the laws the way you're supposed to, you can actually cost yourself more money. Some of them are at the point where they want to change the locks on the door, they want to turn up the hot water, and we let them know that they can be facing fines of up to $500,000 by the federal government.
Can't do that out here.
Who wants to have a $500,000 fine? You don't.
That's not going to fly.
That is the topic that we do, and it's so enthralling for us to do because we enjoy it, because we want to help save landlords keep their properties, but also let tenants. You know, we work with tenants too. Not all landlords are the best. Some of them, you know, unscrupulous and not the way they should be. Yeah. But it's a nasty world for landlords in New York State and California.
Yes, it's the jungle out here.
It is. Yes, it is.
Welcome to the
jungle. Yeah, and just real quick, I mean, to wrap you up on your questions about comments and whatnot. I mean, here's the thing: do the best that you can. And that doesn't mean I need to do 24/7 comments. Don't be afraid to tell people, you know what? Hey, I'm going to take comments for the next 15 minutes. And, at 15 minutes, I stop, for example, and part of it is like, because here's the thing, as much as you want to help people and you want to help everyone, it's hard to get to all that. Now you just have to look at it and say, okay, well, if this is something that seems like, if I see that I'm getting a ton of comments on things, you do want to, I would consider having a moderator, for example, if you can have someone that helps you. Like that's a great way, a great use of time, because then that way you're not having to answer every single thing. Set up some of those saved replies, as I mentioned earlier. That will help you definitely go through the comments. You won't have to be on your phone all the time. I'd also recommend checking out Agora Pulse and see if that is something that can work for you. For example, I use it. I know we use it here at StreamYard as well for helping us stay on top of our 20-something thousand Facebook members and 20-something thousand YouTube subscribers. So, it helps. And you have to find smart ways to cut corners.
Yes, very true.
Almost very like a smart cut or something like that, And basically, there are things that are not going to, like, they're going to free you up for some more time, but they're going to still allow you to be smart with the way you're able to respond to people. So
that's true.
Don't be afraid, like, hey, I can't get all these comments. Don't feel like you have to do all of them. Do what you can. And I'll actually say you would actually come out in the long run if you pull out like a couple of those. Like, let's say there's 5 comments you can't get, but you're like, you know what, those are really good questions that I could turn into a live video or a podcast or something like that. You now have, you're going to actually do more good for yourself, because people are going to get featured on there, and I think they might like that.
Yeah.
Obviously, ask them for permission, but make sure you ask them for permission, obviously. But
that's true.
That gives you then a more opportunity, and it helps you actually expand your platform.
Exactly. Very true.
Yeah, and I'll do that, and I've done that on YouTube as well, because people will ask questions, and I'm like, oh, that's a great topic. Before we started our YouTube channel, we had about 40 subjects that we were going to talk about, and then COVID-19 hit, and practically every one of those 52 videos, save for about maybe 3 or 4, are all related to the eviction moratoriums and the COVID-19 crisis and how it relates to landlord tenant issues. So we have a lot of topics, and our followers and subscribers are giving us more and more every day. And as you two have already done as well. I'm very appreciative that you have brought me on your show. And I do watch the two of you from my office when I can. Sometimes you might say something and I turn around and I watch the TV. But, I really appreciate the two of you having me on your show. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for tuning in.
Thank you.
I hope you join us for the next episode.
Oh, I will. I will.
Thanks.
Have a great day. Have a nice Easter.
You too. Happy Easter. Bye.
Bye-bye.
That was amazing.
Okay, so let's go through a couple of these. We got a couple last comments. In the meantime, I know Leticia mentioned we're going to be giving away, let me see, a StreamYard pillow today, right?
Pillow time.
StreamYard pillow. So we're going to be doing a StreamYard pillow, or giving a StreamYard pillow away. So just put hashtag love StreamYard in the comments. What we're going to do is I'm going to go through the comments real quick here, and then we'll see if there's any last minute people that want to enter to win a StreamYard pillow. So let me see. So let's just answer. I'll answer all these, Leticia. So Adam says, hey, include your social media in the description, put your guest social media after the show, and then put your social media and your 3 hashtags. Absolutely. So the 3 hashtags he's referring to on YouTube, you can include up to 3 hashtags in your description or even in the title. If you put a hashtag, I put them in the description. Preferably, I put them at the bottom of the description. You have 3 you can put in. When you put 3 in, what will happen is they will show up above the title of your YouTube video. Now, when somebody clicks on it, they're going to go to all of the videos, for example, that are anything that's using that hashtag. You can also go to youtube.com/hashtag / whatever the hashtag is. For example, youtube.com/hashtag I don't know, whatever the name of your church is, for example, or hashtag or the word hashtag, by the way, / cooking tips or something. And what's going to happen is it's going to bring up all the other videos that are using that hashtag. So you're going to get to see like who's using it, how many videos there are. If there's a lot, then hey, maybe I'm onto something. But if there's only like, less than 50 or things like that, or not hardly any at all, then maybe that's not the right hashtag to use. So you can see what people are using. You can see their channel art. or sorry, their thumbnail, sorry, that they use for the video and whatnot. Let me see what else. Again, as Charles mentioned, also, by the way, if you have questions, another way to field them is to have people direct message you if you want to. Just remember, you're going to get the information, but you're also going to get a lot more direct messages. So, by the way, I probably have a bunch of direct messages from people for today. Charles also mentions mistakes make your show fun as well. So keep that in mind.
That's true.
And then let me see if there's anything else. Charles also mentions another good comment. Do a self-recording and play with all the buttons and learn your style from live. Absolutely. So don't look at like copying somebody exactly how they do things. Focus on the content and the quality of the content. So for example, if you have a guest on, and let's say it's like, say it's a really boring episode. Sometimes that comes down to like the content. Sometimes it comes down to the person, but you need to test that kind of thing out. So, for example, it could be, maybe you need a different style. Like we watch shows online, right? We watch shows, we watch talk shows, all that kind of stuff as well. Look at what they're doing and see if that format can work for you.
Exactly.
Don't borrow their content, but borrow the framework of how they structure things. Let's see. DJ Rodriguez, awesome. Think you're hooked on the show. Absolutely love that. Love hearing that. So I hope you'll keep tuning in. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, this is really awesome, actually. And Charles, Albert, I think you had some question about the ATEM Mini. I'm not sure what soundboard you're using, but basically the way I've run mine is I have my ATEM, I have my camera. So I'm using a ATEM switcher. That's what I'm using to do the camera switching. I have my cameras plugged directly into that. That then is plugged directly into my laptop. In my case, it goes into a dock. So it goes into a dock, which connects directly to my laptop. And then I have a mixer where my audio is all fed through the mixer. So that then is connected to my dock as well. So basically, mixer into my dock, switcher with my camera into my dock, and then the dock into one laptop. So that's it.
Yeah.
So that might, if that doesn't help, do me a favor, just send me a private message and I'll try and help as well. And then we had one other question. Somebody was asking us what mics we're using, Leticia.
Oh yeah, I'll spell mine out. It's DSC HLDY. DSC HLZ as in zebra Y. And I'm using this did not come with the, I always keep forgetting to tell them this, Christian. This arm here, I purchased this separately. This mic was just a desk mic, and I was like, oh, I don't want to have a mic on my desk because it's going to take up too much room. Yeah. So I got this arm, and then I went to the guitar store. Christian suggested this.
Guitar Center, yeah. Yep.
Guitar Center. Sorry, I keep calling it the guitar store. And I got a different USB cord because the one that came with it wasn't working with my computer.
Yeah. So
I always keep forgetting to tell them that.
No, this is good. No, this is so the reference Leticia's making is that I always tell her, like, when she was asking me about mics, I tell people to go to like if you have a Guitar Center store in your area and you're wondering about what mic to buy, go there and test them out. So they have literally all the mics are set up. They'll let you test out the equipment, and you're able to test it out and see what works and ask them audio questions. Tell them, I'm going to be using this for live streaming. Hey, I'm going to be using this on desktop. I need a mic, for example, that works on desktop and mobile, or I need a mic that works for desktop, but I want a similar one for mobile. That's not, for example, I'm using a Shure SM7B, and this mic, for example, it doesn't plug directly into a laptop. I have to plug in, a couple of things. I have to have this, which is basically a cloud lifter. So it gives it more power than it needs. I have it on an arm, a boom arm, and then it goes into a mixer. By the way, Charles mentions mixers make the sound much easier. They absolutely do. So for example, that's my desktop setup. Now, if I go mobile, I have to come up with a mobile solution. So that's where, if you're going mobile, you may want, you'll note if you're going to do mobile, you want to keep the audio sounding the same. Maybe try to find another mic that will work with mobile. Remember though, if you're streaming on StreamYard on mobile, external mics don't work. So, but if you're going to be doing other streaming or recording on mobile, try to find something that works. in that case. Like some work directly with specific apps. So
Mm-hmm.
so that's what I'm using. But again, I mean, it also comes down to look at your budget as well. So there are
Yeah,
really
that's
good
true.
mics for $70. The
Yeah.
Samsung Q2U, it plugs into a USB port or it can plug into an XLR connection. This one, for example, only plugs into an XLR connection, which means I need to have that mixer. So you're talking, like mixers, a few $100, between $200
Yeah.
and like $600 on up. Mics, like this kind of mic, might be like $400. So you're looking at an
Yeah.
expensive outlay. So you don't necessarily need that. So
And we do suggest, when it comes to mics, having one for that you use at home and having one that you need. Let's say if you're going to go mobile, somebody said Rode.
Rode, yeah. The
Yeah.
Smart Lav, for example, the Rode Smart Lav is a great mic. It will plug into your smartphone, for example. The other one that's also really good, and you can pair this up with the Rode Smart Lav. It's the Rode Wireless Go. Here, let me show you guys this. So this is another option. This actually will work with a laptop as well if you get the right. There's a cable that plugs in from here into the laptop, and it allows you to have a wireless mic. So, for example, I could clip one of these on, just like this, for example, or however I want to clip this on. I could obviously do a better job than this, but I clip this mic on. This one connects to my laptop, and then now I have a wireless mic. And if I want to improve that, I could clip this into the laptop, and there's also a Smart Lav, which basically is a lavalier mic that will clip right here, and it gives me closer sound to my mouth.
Yeah.
Or I put the microphone closer to my mouth. So, but that's the Rode Wireless Go. There's a Wireless Go and a Wireless Go 2. I'd recommend the 2, by the way. It's the new one.
Is it Rode or Rode? Somebody asked.
R-O-D, Rode. I mean, so yeah. What other, let's see. Are there any other questions we have, or is it giveaway time?
I think it's giveaway time. Are y'all's ready?
Let's do this.
I think they
so
are, Christian. Let's do this.
We're using Wheel of Names. I know we have, we also have a tool at StreamYard that our co-founder Dan Briggs built, and it's a fantastic tool. We're waiting to get that access to that at some point, but for now we use Wheel of Names where we put your name in and just click the button and whatnot. So let me go ahead and mute the audio for that. So Leticia, feel free to spin away.
Let's spin. This is exciting. Wow.
Okay,
It's Adam Exploits.
Okay. So Adam's Exploits, very simple. All you need to do is send me an email to marketing@streamyard.com. So let me pull that up real quick. So this email, marketing@streamyard.com. And do me a favor, just reference LSR, basically live stream reviews. All I need. Cool. So we're gonna
stock up on your pillow collection.
So I just have a couple of quick points here I want to make sure to mention, by the way. So we got Adam. That's awesome. Congrats, Adam, on that. So just a couple of quick things. I want to thank everybody, for starters, for tuning in with us this week.
Yeah, the show.
Love doing the show. Love helping you all. So be sure you keep tuning in. Now, just a couple of quick things coming up. So let's see. Let me just pull up my calendar here real quick.
It's the first. So next week it's D and.
Okay, so next week we've got YouTube channel reviews. So they're gonna next Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They're gonna do YouTube channel reviews here on the StreamYard channel. So it's basically taking the place of this show just next Saturday. They do it once a month. So if you have a YouTube channel and you want to get them to review your YouTube channel, they'll review things like, maybe first impressions or the banner on the top, the title, for example, maybe your videos, what links you're sending people out to, all that sort of stuff. Check out that video. It's going to be at youtube.com/StreamYard. So that's going to be I think we might even be able to broadcast that in the Facebook group, but it's definitely be on youtube.com/StreamYard. So go check that out. Make sure you subscribe to the StreamYard YouTube channel so you get notified when they go live next week. In addition to that, I know we also have the Livestream Success Summit. This is going to be happening the 15th of April. So that's, let's see, is that a Thursday, Leticia? I think it's a Thursday, right?
Yeah, I think that's a Thursday. Yeah. Let me double check.
So we got Livestream Success Summit. Just go to streamyard.com/SY Summit. We've already got a few thousand people already registered for this. We literally just opened it like I think 1 or 2 days ago.
I know. I think they said almost 10,000 people have already registered.
Yeah, we got quite a lot. So it's streamyard.com/SY Summit. In addition to that, Leticia, do me a favor, tell people about when's our next broadcast.
Our next broadcast, and grab my calendar up. Our next broadcast is going to be on April 17th, guys. So you definitely want to tune in.
So make sure you're registered for the StreamYard Success Summit. StreamYard.com/SY Summit. I just dropped a comment there for you. And as Leticia mentioned, our next show of live stream reviews is going to be April 17th, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So just a quick recap. The YouTube channel reviews next Saturday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So same time as this show.
Write this down, guys.
The 15th, so the following week, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we've got the first live stream Success Summit. We've got a lot of great speakers there. Seth Godin's going to be keynoting that for us. We got Amy Landino. Who else do we have? We're going to have Dee and Daniel, I think, and Roberto, and a whole bunch of other people as well. Jessica Phillips as well is going to be there. She's from Now Marketing Group, so she's going to be talking at the summit as well as a whole bunch of other people. And then lastly, we have live stream reviews next Saturday, 2 Saturdays from now, the 17th, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So dates to remember: 10th, 15th, 17th, all of them at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So hope to see you all there. Want to thank everybody for watching. And again, Adam, no live stream reviews next Saturday. It's going to be YouTube channel reviews instead.
Yes.
And then we'll be back the following week. So
we'll be watching the YouTube channel reviews. So Christian and I will be in the chat with y'all.
Definitely, yes. So anything else you want to add, Leticia?
That's it. This is a great show. And like we were saying, guys, just get out there and dominate. Just do your best and have fun at the same time.
Definitely, yeah. And Adam, by the way, be sure you email marketing@streamyard.com. We'll make sure we get your StreamYard pillow out. But I want to thank everybody for watching. I want to wish you a happy Easter as well. If it's Easter, I think that's coming up. That's tomorrow, right? So happy Easter, everyone. And again, I mean, if you have any questions about your live streams, do us a favor, tune in to the show every single week. We love bringing you on and helping you work through some of your issues or teaching you a few new tips and tricks. So thanks a lot for everyone. Thanks a lot.
I love y'all. Bye.
Bye.